Okay, this is November 18th, 2023, and I have to use my phone, so this is weird for me. But so Maria, we were talking to Jackie about the difference, about the difference between the U.S. and Philippines, and you must have heard her talk about not leaving your kids. Tell us, I mean, do you
Mm-hmm.
feel yeah?
Yeah, I think it's a whole thing in the Philippines that we just can really leave our kids. I mean, like I was teaching high school in the Philippines, seventh, eighth, and ninth, and I'm also teaching the same grade levels here. And so, like, but well, she's absolutely right because like we have to watch our kids most of the time, even though there are cameras in the classroom. We still have
Mhm.
to watch our kids because like what you just like what you mentioned before, or even at the beginning when I came here, we have to like we have to look over those kids or else like we'll be in trouble.
Yeah, yeah, you will get in trouble if you leave them alone. And when I'm there, so Maria, I have to go to the bathroom, I watch her kids. But anyway, so Jackie, you have somebody that you can ask though immediately that's close by. Jackie left. Anyway, okay. So Maria, is there
Yes,
anything?
Doc. Hello,
Yeah,
Doc.
yeah, Jackie. What
Yes, I have
yeah,
another fifth grade teacher who can look over from my class if
okay.
ever I need to go to the restroom. And I have also my para. They will be helping. Yes,
That's awesome that you have one. You have a paraprofessional 100% of the time.
yes, I have. But they will not be staying in the room for that long period of time. They will be coming for like 1 hour in my
Mm.
morning and for like 40 minutes in the afternoon.
So I guess you'll just have to make sure that you go whenever the para is there.
Yes, I need to ask permission because
Yeah.
I have 25 and 23 students.
Wow. So Maria, that's the difference too. Maria is in a small school, and Maria, I think your highest number is what, 19 students?
Mm-hmm. That's my highest.
19 students. Hey, tell them about our visit to another school, Maria. We
So
went.
like okay. So we like visited another school is Forest City Junior High School. It's just a junior high school there. And we went to the eighth grade class, and I was so shocked. No, we were all so shocked when we visited there. Like the teacher in one classroom, she has a big class, and there
46.
were like 46 kids, 46 eighth graders, and it's a mix of like honors classes or the pre AP, and then the regular kids, and then the sped kids, and then like she has a she has another person in her classroom because it's a really big class size. And then like Miss Allen told us to like count our blessings because like my biggest class size is just 19, and that school they have a big class size.
Everybody's got that many. So 40 something. To me, that's a
Mm-hmm.
lot. So you better be good. That teacher has to be very good at her classroom management. So we're having issues at all. And then what happened was I was very curious about, are these kids really that good? So tell them about this Filipina Bernadette.
Yeah,
Maria.
so like there's a Filipino there. And she's the only Filipino in the building, which is kind of like I don't know, maybe that's why she was just feeling like she's not feeling well, or like how do I say this, because like she, that same set of students, like they were acting so good with this certain teacher that we visited, but then when this Filipina had these kids last week, like she cried because of this kid. Like she was even saying like she wanted to like resign or like move or leave, but then like when you get the salary, of course you decide again like, oh, we're gonna postpone the leaving again, something like that. So like the salary is a good motivation too.
Yeah, but that's that it is the teacher's classroom. The children, same children, would actually under different teachers because the teacher is very good at, she had very good at discipline. She had been there, what, more than 20 plus years, right? Yeah. And
She's
so
been
the,
teaching for like 23 years, and in that school she's like 5 years, and
yeah,
that's good.
but obviously she has her control, under her belt. She don't she does not put up with, like, any noise at all. They were over there paying attention, like you could not hear a pin drop. They were listening to her, although her pace was so fast. Nobody ever like question or whatever. Like in some classrooms, somebody would have said, "Ay, you're so fast," or, "Can you slow down?" They would have said something, but they didn't with that teacher. But of course, they were doing a test prep, so they're preparing for the big test. So they were being shown strategies on how to do well on the test. So they did take it seriously. And so what was your takeaway on that in that trip, Maria? Do you mind sharing with them?
Okay, so I also handle 8th grade, and that was really a big class. And
Mm,
I had the same like set of students as well in my classroom, but it's not just like in a big class. They were like separate classes. Oh, just like what you told us, like count your blessings, and then like be grateful for having a small class size, because like you can really,
to a lot.
like, yeah, you can do a lot with your kids, and also like you can really see who's struggling in your
Mhm.
set of kids, and you can like accommodate them, like in whatever ways you can do. Because like I think the downside of having a big class is that like you don't know if all of them are learning in that
Yeah,
classroom. And then most students who participate in the discussion are just, I think those are only the smart students. So like there could be like students that are just like, what are we doing now, or like, but or what is this about, but they just
yeah,
they just don't say it.
right. Passive listeners, yeah. So because you do in the surface, it does look like everybody was on task and so on, but you really did not get to know who's got it and who didn't. I tried to go around the ones that were around me. They seemed to be doing okay. They were using a Freyer model, which is a four square vocabulary, and they had it in a digital template, so the kids knew it really well. So Maria, remind me, I need to email that teacher to ask for the template if you're still interested in using it.
Mm-hmm. Yes,
Yeah.
ma'am.
So anyway, okay. So anything else that you want to share, Maria? Tell them about your plans for Thanksgiving.
So yeah, since in the US we get like the Thanksgiving break, so I'm planning to go to different state parts in Arkansas, like visit also Miss Ellen in Salem, and then like have a Thanksgiving dinner. So like I think other teachers here that are already in the US also have their own plans as well, because this is the only time, like you can see posts in Facebook that like why we're always like traveling or going somewhere else, and it's probably because like the work here is so tiring, and then like it's immensely tiring, but you really deserve the break, and and you have to cherish the breaks that you get, because like that is a blessing. So that's just
Yeah,
how I see it for now.
yeah. You need a break for sure. For mental, kind of more mental health. You know, for your mental health. Um, anyway, talking about school, Jackie said to please share more classroom management things. Maria, the first year I remembered she kind of struggled a little bit on classroom management. Can you recall what changed, Maria? What changed from year one to now year three for you?
Because I have 7, 8, and 9 kids, and like we're in a small school, so like I know the kids and I know some of their parents because I call some parents, and I like when I do phone calls, like I also like brag the students, because that also like kind of help. Because I remember one time like this is a very rowdy girl in my classroom, like really rowdy. And then there's one time like she behaved so well in my class that I called her mom to and bragged her, and then the next day she was acting good in my class. So that also kind of like helps. Like as just what Miss Jackie mentioned, like building rapport to your students very essential. So like I kind of see like a very different first year me to the third year me, because this is already my third year. So like kind of know my students now, and I
Yeah.
can make fun of them as well. So
Yeah,
yeah.
and just joke with them now and so on, and they are very relaxed with her. And Jackie, you'll get there. You just have to get to know them, like and get to they like you. They like Maria's class, and a bunch of them would want to be in our class instead of going to some other classroom. They try to look for excuse like, can we help you do something? So they don't have
Uh-huh.
class.
Like they
And
would rather help me.
yeah, yeah. So she takes advantage of that and have them to help. But you also want to be aware that other teachers might not, might also want their students. They you can't do that all the time. But anyhow, so what other things that I think that's one strategy that Maria has used is that at first she was very afraid of like writing them up to send them to the office. She was so I don't know if you're afraid, but you were just hesitant. You were not doing
Hesitant. Yeah.
at now, like, you just do it just like that, you don't worry about it. And now you also call the parents. Sometimes she has a phone in her room, so she would just call right there in front, and so the kid will be like, oh no, so you when you have that they know that, oh, my parents gonna be mad because my teacher will call, right, like right there, they change their behavior. They don't, and the parents here, the good parents here anyway, would take their phones away, and that their phone is like, oh my god, that's the biggest thing you can take away from them. And then some of them are big into video games, and they take those away. So any little privileges that they have at home will be taken away. And another thing that I told, and I don't know if Maria had used this, is if you know of students that are athletes and you have coaches there, you can tell that coach if they are in trouble in your class a lot, or they're not behaving, because the coach will give them extra exercise, extra run, 2 or 3 run.
Mm-hmm.
They'll give them a little punishment that they do in their when they are in their class. So they don't like that. They don't want to be punished. So all you have to do is say, I'm gonna tell Coach Jones or Coach Smith, I'm gonna tell him,
Mm-hmm.
hey, I know as an athlete, you should be a model to your classmates, and all that. So I don't know why I never had any issues, even when I was teaching 11th grade and 8th grade. I never had any issues, because I guess because another trick I think to classroom management is that you have a bell to bell instruction. So the moment, and Maria, you do that, you do a better job on that now too. The moment they come in, I mean, the moment that they are, the bell rings, you should be outside in your classroom waiting for the kids. And in that way, you can say hi to them, you can talk to them, even as quick as like, good morning, are you having a good day? Or you can say something about, like, if you watch them in their ball game, hey, good game last Friday. And any little sentence that you could give them that's positive, and that you kind of, forming that relationship with them. You know something about each child, and you say something like, some of your students are so, like, some of Maria's students are very fashionista. They're just really, every time I see them, they have different accessories or whatever. So I would always say something, oh, nice earrings, or love your hair today. You really did a good job with that braiding. Things like that. I would say something like that. Although I come only once a week, I still feel like I've kind of, I want to bond with them. That I do bribe them with candies, huh, Maria? That doesn't hurt either, does
Yeah,
it?
a lot of times. So that
Yeah.
also helps too. Like
Hmm.
if you want to have like a better classroom management, like you have to bribe them with some food. Because like there are some kids that don't have food to eat.
Yeah, I go by the Asian store, and I would buy this little, for example, what was that they really like, Maria, that I gave you some wafers, those little
Wafer.
wafers rolled, yeah, and it's a big jar of it, and so they have to earn it, so they were like, oh, what else can I do? And then they love the coffee candy, the
Yeah, they
Scopico.
love Kopiko.
Oh my gosh, they love those, huh? So they would eat those. And some teachers I know, if they don't have much money and they don't want to spend too much money on candies, they would buy those big old M&Ms things, and they just have to take one, or even Skittles. Have there are so many in one bag. A student can just get one. I mean, just little bitty things like that. They just want to have something, I guess, coming from someone, kind of more reward them. But you don't just like give it away without them earning it, because they like pretty much beg Maria, like, can we have this now? When I was when one day Maria was sick and I happened to be there, and so I told the instructional facilitator, Miss Moore, I said, I'll just take her class, because she was having a hard time looking for someone to watch her class. And I said, I'll just watch Maria's class. I'll just be her sub today. And so I really did have a good day. I only have to write one kid's name, huh, Maria? Because he was just being a silly boy. But other than that, they really did work on this, on the things that she assigned. And so it is an individual thing. Once they know that you are firm and you're consistent, and you're gonna write them up, no problem. The problem in America, I noticed also in high school especially, is the phone. Maria's one of those that's really strict about the phone. Like, they have this little basket, this plastic basket provided by the school, and the moment they come in the classroom, they have to put that phone in the basket. And some teachers are not as consistent, like they would hit and miss on that. Maria is always like very strict about it, like, okay, phone. And then what do you tell them about what you do,
Yeah.
Maria? Borrow like your headphone or something from your class.
Oh,
I,
that's something like I build up, and they know that's Miss Incorporada. That's me. Like whenever they need something in my class, especially with like Chromebooks or like headphones, they need to leave something that they own. So like I know that I'm gonna get my stuff back. So that's just like a collateral thing, and I need to do that. And you might need to do that as well.
yeah, their jackets, their whatever. So when I was the sub there, I said, can I borrow a headphone? And I said, what's Miss Incorporado's rule about that? Oh, I'm supposed to leave something. That's right. So because I knew about that rule. So anyway, they tried to like get it without any collateral, Maria. So good thing I remember that you do that. So yeah, I think that's a good, little things like that's kind of and they think that's cute. But what other things that you have done? I really think the two big things is the calling of the parents, and not being hesitant to write them up. I mean, at first you feel, well, I don't want the principal to think that I'm sending people there. So we start in the classroom, and also I think the other one, oh, I just tell them about the word that you have, Maria, where you write the mark. What was that about? That worked too, I
What's your
think.
question again?
Where you have that board where you put their name and you have a tally mark on it. What was that about?
Oh, so I have this. I put a character in my classes. He's one of the characters in a show here in the U.S. His name is Eric from a show South Park, and then like some kids know him, and so like what I do is that, my class can earn 2 points in every time they go to my class. At the beginning, if they go to my class being so rowdy and then like they just don't want to sit and like do some stuff that I did not tell them to do, then they're not gonna get the point, but they can still. And then the other point, oh no, that point will go to Eric. So like it's them versus Eric. And so like, if Eric gets most number of points, then they don't get any reward from me. Like say for example, I sometimes reward them with like, let's watch a movie, or like, I'll let you listen to the music when you use your Chromebook for like 30 minutes, something like that. So that's sort of my like a reward for them. So like, now I kind of like forgot about it because I'm so busy, but the students just remember it. Like, Miss Gopar, you did not give our points today, something like that. So
Yeah.
like that kind of helps too, because like it's so hard if you can't build like you can't manage them. So like those are just one of the things that I do in my classroom.
Yeah. So you pretty much divided the paper into two, right? One side is them, and the other side is Eric. Is that what you did? You divided the paper in half.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Sure.
So
Line.
it's also, yes, ma'am. What were
Mhm.
you saying?
And I think that's what it was. I didn't realize that there was the Eric thing. I just thought that you were just giving tally marks, and there was a red mark and a black mark. I didn't know if it meant anything.
No, I just use different color markers. But
Hmm.
like, if at the they know about that they have to behave, because like I really really want them to see that I put points to the character and then points to them. So like they don't get the points, like they say like, oh, we still get 1 point, like we still get a chance to have a 1 point, something like that. So
Yeah.
they'll try to earn that.
Yeah. So instead of the two full points, they're still getting one. So they can redeem themselves. That's a good idea. That's a good idea to do that.
Mhm.
Where'd you get that idea? You just came up with that?
No, I joined like in Facebook groups like middle schoolers, like who teaches ELA. So like I got that APA from there,
Mm,
and I was thinking like I need to use this in my class, and I never thought that it would work. And when I
mhm.
became back and from Thanksgiving, I'm gonna try it again, and then like try to see if they're gonna do good. But
Yeah.
there are still some times where I struggle with my classes. Like, it's so hard to have like the special education kids in your classroom and also the regular kids in your classroom. It's kind of so hard to do your instruction. So like I don't hesitate to ask help from your principal. You
Yeah.
know.
And yeah, don't be shy to do that, because they realize that you're new, especially in your first year. Even with her year three, you can still ask, and they will understand, because a lot of time they know these kids. They know that Maria's not the only one having issues with these same kids. They're gonna have issues in different classes. So don't
Exactly.
thinking that, oh, you know what, I'm gonna look weak if I ask for help. It's not really about you, it's really about them. Sometimes, they are the ones that are having issues to how to behave. So the more teachers that would report them, the more that the principal would know that this child needs to be in an alternative, classroom setting, instead of the regular classroom, right? So what was it, one day I had one teacher that said, I said, you were having a great day today. And she said, there were two kids that were missing, and the kids that always misbehaved were gone. So I had a very smooth day. And don't do that to yourself. Don't be thinking that that's the only time that I have a good day is because those two kids were gone. So it would be on that teacher's thinking that that's why it's because of these two kids missing. But I bet there were other things that happened, that why that day was a good day, not just about that the two kids. But Jackie, what was it? Did you said something? Did you say I need to
Oh,
see?
she got a question.
Yeah.
I think it's Miss Jackie. It's really up to you whose character you're gonna use. Like you can use different characters, but I would suggest like have like a stuffed toy in your classroom. Like have a certain character in your classroom, and then like have a representation of that character, because you have like younger kids, and so like you gotta explain to them like if you're gonna be rowdy or like if I can see you looking at your paper classmates paper, then I'm gonna put this
Mm,
stuff to beside you, something like that. So like
yeah.
have a representation in it. But what I use, like it doesn't really matter, but what I just use that certain character because my kids know it. So like
Yeah.
you can try to see characters that they also know, that you think
Yeah.
they know.
You can do like a Harry Potter and Voldemort. Like just put a V for Voldemort, and you don't want Voldemort to get the points. You want the Harry Potter, side to get the points. Your kids will be the Harry Potter, something like that. You can do a popular book, and Harry Potter is such a popular book. I know I would in third, fourth was it. I don't know fifth grade if they still are crazy about it, but I know when I was doing third and fourth, they were really crazy about Harry Potter. And as they got older, like that, what was it that Bella and what was that, the
Twilight.
Twilight Zone? Yeah, they could do the Team Edward and Team what's the other one? Team Edward and Team was the wolf. Was the
I
wolf
don't know.
character?
I forgot about it. But yeah, I feel like you've seen Twilight, so you should know the characters. But I
Yeah.
forgot that. I forgot that.
Title of the movie, ma'am. Okay, the title of the movie. Are you asking Maria of the title of the movie or the show? I think it was.
Yeah. So I just explained to her like
Yeah.
to everybody that it's just really up to you what character. But I just used that show. It's called South Park. It's not really a recommendable show because the
Not a
kids
good.
watch it like it's a PG-13 like
Yeah.
animated show.
Yeah, you wanted to watch that. Yeah, I was even surprised when you said that was from South Park, because I remember telling my high school students that that's not a very good show to watch, because
Uh-huh.
it's a lot of I guess more of adult theme to me, and some language that's not good.
Some language, yeah. But when I showed to them my character, they were just
Mm,
laughing about it. You know,
yeah.
I think it also comes from like you know your kids, something
Mm,
like that. So that
mm,
also kind of helps,
yeah.
because like my kids don't want like boring stuff. They don't want boring characters. So
Right.
I gotta think of something else.
Yeah, you have to get to know. I mean, Jackie, pay attention to what they're reading. and what is a popular book that they're reading, and then maybe use that book, whatever's everybody's checking out. You can talk to your librarian and find out, or media specialist they call them here, and find out what's a popular book that our fifth graders are checking out. It seems like every year they're always something that is popular. That's that the librarian cannot keep up because they're always being borrowed. They sometimes they have to order more copies because the kids are always checking it out. So you need to find out what book that is for your school, because that might help you decide on what to do about characters. So that's a good idea, Maria. Thank you for sharing that. So can
So
you other
I have a question, Doc. So
uh,
how can I figure it out? Like, if I that's what you suggest that I'm using the Harry Potter itself. So how can I figure it out? Do I need to have a certain kind an arc, like an anchor chart, and I'm going to divide it into two, and then I
Yeah,
have to put their Harry Potter, and the other
there's
side will be
their
Voldemort?
what?
class.
What will be the
Yeah,
title? What could be the
there's
title for the other side?
no. It's up to you. What do you want to be like?
Yeah,
What do you
it's
want
the villain.
your class to be?
Yeah, you
Like the other, I have to I have to divide the anchor
The
chart
chart.
into two. So
do.
I if I am deciding to choose Harry Potter, so I write there Harry Potter, and then
Mm-hmm.
the other side, what could be
Voldemort.
Every
my
class.
my title?
The villain.
Mm-hmm.
The villain would be Voldemort. Just put a V.
Ah,
Yeah, just put a
so I am going to represent Harry Potter in my class.
yes.
They are
You're
my class.
the ones that were doing bad things that will
I
prevent
gotcha,
the
gotcha.
prize.
Mm-hmm.
Or you don't want Voldemort to have more points than the Harry Potter side. Yeah.
Right.
Gotcha.
Oh
So
yeah.
every time they will be doing good, so that is 1 point.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like every class period, they only get like they can gain 2 points. So like at the beginning, like in your bell ringer, like at the beginning of your lesson, and if they don't behave, then they don't get that point. That will go to like the villain, and so like they still have another point that they can earn in your class, and if they behave throughout the period, then they can gain that they can gain that other 1 point. So like you put the points at the beginning and also at the end of the period, so like they can gain 2 points or maybe
Okay,
one or maybe nothing.
You can
beginning
even
and end.
you can do a three, even beginning, middle, and end for you.
You
Okay,
can do that too.
Yeah.
beginning, middle, and end. So it's up to me to choose what reward can I give to them.
Yeah. But you have to tell them the reward ahead of time. I always told my kids, like, if you do this, we're gonna have, like, used to be, I would have them spell pizza, in all capital. And when you have this spell that pizza, so instead of points, they spell that pizza, then we have a pizza party, something like that. But I was always clever about getting donations from people. I'm very good at begging from businesses. Like, I have something going on in my classroom. Can you please donate in my classroom? And say when we had a business, so our business would donate or whatever. But anyway, so don't be spending your own money where you will be broke by the end of the month. But anyway, but there are some things that you could give that's free,
Mm-hmm.
like free homework. Homework, like if you normally would give homework, no homework, or anything that the kids do not like to do, tell them that they will do
Right.
it. Something that everybody will be different on that.
Mm-hmm.
My
What I
one
what Oh, sorry. What I
Go ahead.
did yesterday for my seventh grade, because like they've been anticipating that we're gonna like make bracelets. So like I just bought like an Amazon, like for friendship bracelets, and we did it yesterday before leaving for Thanksgiving. So just something like that. Like I tried my best not to spend a lot of money for like school stuff. Like
Yeah,
just give stuff that you think like you can find in your classroom.
yeah.
Just like what I do.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry. Just like
Yeah,
what I do where like okay, 30 minutes of free time or 30 minutes of YouTube or 30 minutes of music, something like that. So it's really up to you. You can utilize anything in your classroom.
just make sure that if it is not against some kind of policy, so maybe talk to your mentor or to your principal. Is this okay if I do this? Like one year my kids were so big about wanting to work outside. So I said, when it's not, it wasn't winter, of course. So during the spring they wanted to go out or outside. So I said, okay, I'll bring two blankets, one for the boys, one for the girls. So if you earn, the word outside, you have to spell the word outside capital. So one time the O, and the next one would just be the U, and then the T. They take them two times because you have to have the top and then the down. So they earned that, then we went outside, and I already told my principal that we're going to be doing our class outside because they've earned the word outside already. And so of course I had a self-contained classroom that time. I had them all day long, so we could always decide on which class, which particular, like we did in science, because I made it like a science class also. We were looking for pet rocks outside, and because I read them a book about my pet rock or something, and then I said, I want you, it told them about how the rules of getting a pet rock, it has to fit in your hand, and all this, and it has to mean something to you. And then they wrote about their pet rock, and then I brought some colors, and they were actually coloring the pet rock, they were drawing on it, and so on. So they ended up with an art with an art of a rock, but they also were writing on it, they're observing it because of science. So I kind of did an integration of art and science and literacy and ELA, because just because they were outside doesn't mean they're just going to be sitting there. And so whoever was done, they got to like lay down, just look at the trees and so on. They just kind of relaxed, but were done with whatever they were doing. But they were all fun work for them. They didn't mind. They didn't mind it, but so they wanted to earn more outside things. But I didn't give it as a free time at all. I just made it an activity that's more fun for them. So we got to go outside. But anyway, you come up with some creative ways to reward your kids. Like my biggest one, I'm sure you remembered me sharing this, that I always had what did I call it? Where we eat in the classroom Friday, something Friday. I don't remember what they name it. But anyway, so the parents or grandparents were invited to come every Friday. They can come and they can bring lunch for the kids, whatever. They just need to, of course, let us know in the morning, so that the cafeteria will not prepare too much food. And so they will come, and they would actually be in my classroom for an hour, and they would watch the videos that we have done all week long. I had a camera going all week long, so anything that we did, like when we did our role play on, when we did our story, or we did our science, they were doing meteorology stuff. They were predicting the weather, all the things that they were doing in the classroom. They were making commercial. The It's like a presentation time. We were actually showing the parents, what they did all week through the video. And then, so if you were not behaving yourselves and you do not earn the coming to the classroom Friday, you get to go to the study hall, where they have somebody that would, people that get in trouble, they have a teacher there that's watching them, and they get to eat their lunch there, and it's no fun for them. So, needless to say, I didn't have any behavior problems, because the parents already know that, oh, I don't get to come Friday because you're not going to be there because you were in trouble. you know and so anyway, a lot of times I would also be telling the parents, like, you know what, I'm sorry, but your son did this or your daughter did this, maybe we'll try again next week, and whatever, because they don't want to not come. It's a very small community, and the video that I was showing them is also going to be put on TV, because we own the cable company. So in the basement, Dwayne had it set up where I would just put the video in, and then the whole community sees the whole video. So they're like stars of the community. They know that it's Miss McCullough's class. I was in channel 99. Dwayne put a whole channel just for me, so I was channel 99. But anyway, so anything like that, you take advantage of. I happen to be the wife of a cable operator, so I took advantage of that and used that in my classroom. But you have other things that you have connection with, like kids love to know about the Philippines, for example. You can use that too, like, okay, if you do this, then I'll share 3 things about the Philippines with you. I would bring them like money from the Philippines, and I would show them this, and I would buy some fruits that are tropical fruits that they could not get normally. I would buy it, and we would eat it. Papaya, for example, the sweet papaya, they really like that. And so one day I'm like, okay, the next time that you do this, you will spell papaya. Once you spell papaya, then I will bring papayas to you, and then we will I'll let you taste it, what it is. And of course, we already researched what papaya is, and so on. They got to already kind of know what that is. But anyway, and some of them would want to do cooking, like we spell the word cooking, and we cook like crab rangoon ones. I think that's a favorite. Kids always, those. I don't know if you know what crab rangoon is, but that's like a little, those little square wonton thing, and you put the cream cheese on top, and you season it, and you just close it like a dumpling, and you fry it. And I just brought my little rice, my little fryer, and we cook it. And so they were having it for snacks. And sometimes popcorn would be good. You spell popcorn and they get popcorn, and popcorn's pretty cheap. So we had the popcorn popper. You can buy those popcorn popper, and those popcorn's really cheap. When I taught high school, 8th and 11th grade, for some reason they were really crazy about that. And then I even bought my Keurig for my 11th graders, 8th graders, and they got to earn like little bit of tea or little tea thing. I didn't want. I think maybe I asked the principal if coffee is okay, but then I went for tea and hot chocolate. So I was actually putting it through my Keurig, and they just thought that was such a big deal that they got to get some Keurig things for me. But I went, and I didn't want to get the individual Keurig because that gets expensive. So what I did was I got the little you know converter thing where you can put the regular coffee in it instead of the little individualized coffee. So that way you can buy the big deal of coffee, and it's only $5 instead of like 35 cents per cup, per little individualized cup that they have. So things like that where you can save money, but then your kids and you know what they're into. If you live in which I bet you'll do, in an area with really high poverty, lots of really poor kids, food is always a hit with them, because you might have kids that you notice if you're in the class, live in the cafeteria watching them. These are the same kids that were like eating really fast and eating like a lot and all that, because they may not have much food at home, and they try to eat a lot when they are in school because they don't know when their next food will be. And you have kids like that in America, believe it or not. We have kids like that. So I've also done it where I had food on Fridays that I could give them, that they could take home with them. Later on, like even now I'm retired, I'm involved with church where we are actually giving them 10 different types of food in a Ziploc bag, and they take them home. We have identified more than 100 families, and then so each kid in that family will get something every Friday, and we delivered it to the guidance counselor. So the guidance counselor was giving it to the teacher, and the teacher gives it to them without showing to the other kids. It's kind of being very nonchalant about it, and kind of more of a secret thing, because you don't want the other kids to make fun of them or whatever, especially in high school. That's like a big deal to them, to be stigmatized. I don't want people to know that I'm poor. I don't want people to know that I'm this. So you just have to be aware of that since being sensitive about that. Yeah. So Jackie, did you get anything from all the things we shared between Maria and I? You said,
Yes, yes, Doc. Actually, our students are so lucky because our school gave them the free lunch and
oh,
free breakfast. So actually, when I went there, uh, some of the kids will really have to throw some of the foods. And I told my students, "You're so lucky because my students in the Philippines, they cannot eat that much, just like you. So you are not supposed to throw your food. You have
mhm,
to keep it because you're so lucky. You have free breakfast, you have free lunch, and
mhm,
then and as I said, I thanks for the new information that I've got from the both of you. And then my last question is that if ever there are like two or three of my students will not do that one, will misbehave, even though I'm doing this particular classroom management. So I guess that's the time that I'm going to call parents,
oh,
write
parents.
them,
Yep. Yeah.
or
Yeah. Do the
just
steps.
call the principal.
Yeah, that I always did in my classroom. I always kind of give them a warning. Like I would, if I put their names, if I have a name on the board area, but at that time it was okay. Might not be okay now, but I have a little box there in my board that I put the names of people. That's kind of warning, verbal warning, and they do that. And once I put a check mark on it, that means you better watch out, because second check mark, I'm calling your parents. So it's kind of like having that little, so you watch out. Your names are on the board. Watch out, and all this. And I leave it all week. So they cannot just like start over every week or every day. They come to my room and they start over. No, you already have one yesterday. So so they have two more chances that week, but then the parents will be called. But some, of course, it depends upon you. Some of the teachers were actually starting it every day, especially if their discipline was not very strong. The kids misbehave a lot in their classroom, so they start over every day. See, my discipline was a little stronger, so I did it all week long. It lasted all week long. So because I use that to decide on the Friday luncheon. That's what I called it, the Friday luncheon. So if you have those two check marks, and I called your parents, you cannot come to the Friday luncheon. So they really work on not getting the second check mark because they want to be there for the Friday luncheon. Yeah. So anyway, but I came up with that, and they have like, they also earn things like, those little ticket from Walmart that you get whenever you go in a ball game, and they give you this little ticket that's like different colors. I use those, and we call them like, we just call them tickets, and then at the end of the month, we would have an auction using their tickets. So they represent, and in my sister's classroom, they didn't use tickets. They would use like she calls it Trotter box because her last name is Trotter. So Trotter box. So every time she's got a picture of her face in the money, and that's called Trotter box. And then they have like envelopes, and they put their money in the envelope. And at the end of the month or at the end of the week, whenever you do it, a month would be better, is to have an auction. You display the things that you want to give away and sell, and you kind of have an auction there. Okay, how many, how much would you give me this? 10. I want to give 15, and so on. And so the one with the most money will end up with the most things. And so anyway, they love that because they know at the end of the month we're gonna have our auction. So yeah. And so when we start writing checks, one third grade, we learn how to write checks. So then I wrote them a check, and they have to write me a check for rent and all those things. Their seat could be for rent. If they want the seat like in the back because they don't want to be in the front, then that might be, worth $2. Write me a check for $2 for that, whatever. But you started with so much money in your checking account. Everybody starts at $20 for the week. And so you're gonna budget that for whatever you're writing the check for. But they got to practice writing checks. So they got to they got to actually apply what they've learned, because then when they give me a check, I also check, make sure that they get it right. Are they spelling the numbers right? Are putting this in the right spot? And are they signing it? All that. Are they dating it? So I would actually be applying what they've learned in math. So things. So you've got different things. And the other thing that really worked for me as an elementary teacher was my station, my learning station, that I have learning stations there. Since I was a chess coach, one of the station was my chess station. So they actually could play chess, and they have to put a sticky note there on who they're against. And the rule is they cannot touch that piece. If they're gonna touch that piece, we're gonna have to take a picture of it. That way they can put it back later. But they cannot touch that if there's somebody playing with that. So I have 2 or 3 different, so 6 people could actually play. But then another station will be science, where you have your pet, your pets, whatever, and they name it, they take care of it. And then another one is my they call that a publishing station, where they could write poems, they could write stories, and they would do raps. And because I have an author's chair, they would always ask me like, can I be in the author's chair? I want to present what I wrote in the publishing center. So your ELA kind of combination thing. So we're always like that. We were always like performing, and people have to pay attention. They were multitasking. They may be doing something, but because I have these kids all day, so they get to really know each other, and they know that if you publish something, if you did something, you can always share. Just ask, because even though the other kids might be doing something, they still have to be multitasking and be paying attention while at the same time still doing their work. So the classroom is always very organic. There's always things that are going on, but they're learning the whole time. So it's almost like a family, really. Yeah. So that family feel, that big community learning feel, from having a class president that have the 10 minutes, a class meeting in the morning by my rug, by my carpet. And they would actually talk about their local, their family, and then what's going on in Salem, and then what's going on in the world. They talk about that while I'm doing my lunch count and my attendance, to try to get ready for the day. My president of the classroom plus the vice president are actually doing that for the first 10 minutes. So they got to have their bonding there. Of course, I have to model all that. And they have their speaking stick there, that only whoever has that stick has the right to talk. So they have to pass that on. Yeah. But anyhow, and so because they have that going on. It's almost like a governing, classroom, and that helped to help a lot. Elementary, high school, I don't think I was able to do a lot of those things in high school just because the period is so fast. What the only thing I did the high school was, I had this little board with like I had 6 sections, and I have a you have a person that took the roll every day for me. That they just write their name that was absent, and then I'll just like look at that how many names, and then plus how many here, make sure the number is right, and then that's very easy way to get the attendance. So I don't have to waste time. And then they have to have an assistant so that if they're absent, the other assistant could do it. So that's what I did in high school. So that was to buy time. But anyway, how about other people? Do you have other things that you want to share with Jackie that might work for her? Giselle, I bet you have other things there that you have done in your classroom. Is Giselle still here?
Doc.
Yeah. So
Give,
you have work in your classroom.
um, I think Mom Jacqueline, I think she's from the Philippines. Right? Uh, I think we have same strategies here in the Philippines, Doc, because as you said, we really have different um characteristics regarding our students, Doc. But the ones that you shared in this group are effective, Doc, in our here in the Philippines, but I'm not very sure because again their characteristics is far much different. Like
Yeah.
they don't tell you what they really like, what they
Mm,
don't like. They just follow your orders,
yeah.
and like after discussion with them, do you understand? Everybody said yes, but then when you give them a test, when you give them the evaluation, then you'll find out they don't.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yes, our students here are very passive in terms of the. So that's
Yeah.
why
They're
I'm.
very compliant, right, Giselle? They're very compliant. And
Yes, Doc.
yeah, here they're not. That's why, whenever you asking about like, do you understand it? And everybody will say yes. I would rather have said to say that thumbs up if you understood it, thumbs down if you don't, and if you're still confused, I want you to do thumb sideways, and that way you're still able to know that some of the kids are still confused, and you cannot go on because you have 3 people that were still confused. And if you are ready to move on, you better make sure you pull those 3 kids in the side and be teaching them while the others are doing their independent work, and that way you get to play catch up with them. So yeah, so good thing that you also would ask that. But yeah, that's the big difference. You just have to remember when you come to America that the kids in America are going to be very, very vocal. They're going to tell you what they think. Some of them may sound rude to you because you're not used to kids questioning you, but they really are not being rude to you. They're just being themselves, because that's what we have raised our kids in America. We raised them to be critical thinkers. We raised them to be independent thinkers, that if you have a question, you need to ask. If you are not happy about something, you need to tell somebody. But I always tell my own kids, like Jet and Stephanie, that if you do that, just be sure that you're kind about it, you're nice about it. You're not going to use a rude tone or an insulting tone or whatever. Especially with mama, me, I would mispronounce some words, for example, and then they would like to correct me, and I said, try not to correct me in front of other people, like correct me later. Because that's sometimes it's embarrassing. Or if you do that, do it in a kind way. Sometimes, I always just say sometimes it's better to be kind than to be right. So if this is a kind thing to do it after that person leaves. Because you are helping your mom knowing how to pronounce it, but at the same time you're not insulting her, in front of another person. So anyway, so something like that, you can make sure you share that with your students. And a good thing that you are here learning about this now when you're still in the Philippines is that it's not going to shock you when you come here. Maria, is Maria still here? Maria must
Mom
have left.
Ellen,
Yeah.
I'm
Did
still
did
here.
it did their behavior shock you, Maria, because of the difference of the Filipinos and the American kids? Did it shock you the first month?
Oh
First week?
yeah,
Yeah.
very much. Yeah,
Yeah, what
until now, this still it keeps on, like sometimes I keep on telling myself like how I wish I have my students in the Philippines, something like that, because like they would do an awesome job, like they would try to they would try to reach my standards, something like that. And behavior wise, it shocked me, that it's really shocked me in my first few months here.
yeah, yeah, I bet. That's why some people are really, as Christine, I remember her wanting to go home, didn't she? She was really
Hmm.
talking about, and I'm like, Christine, I want you to think and rethink about that, to give it time. I want you to learn more about it.
Yeah, give it time. But I never thought of like wanting to go home. Yeah.
She
Mm-hmm.
makes too much money. Times 10, times 8, times 10. So,
Mm-hmm. And
yeah,
then what I also already had the mindset of that, like I'm not gonna cry because of my kids.
yeah,
Never.
I'm tougher than that. Yeah, I think that's a good thinking there, that I'm tougher than my kids, and even if you're not, you really just, you really just have to fake it till you make it kind of type thing. Because when I first started teaching 30 something years ago, I was so afraid. I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm so short. I'm only 4'10". What if the kids will just like, not respect me because I'm so short? But then I realized that when I did my student teaching, that no, I got this. I'm short, but I can have my teacher voice, and you show them that I'm confident. I know my stuff. I know what I'm doing. And once you have that you can fake it. You might not know really a lot with the first 2 years you're teaching, but you can fake it because the kids see how confident you are, that you're not going to hesitate. If you don't behave yourself, I'm going to be talking to you privately. You're not going to get away with it. you know and so, you know what, I'm not going to insult you in front of your peers, because if you do that, the kids are going to talk back at you, and you are going to lose in that situation. So don't ever give the kids opportunity where they are fighting you in front of their peers, because they're going to want to win to make the teacher look bad. So don't give them that opportunity. Call them privately outside. I step outside, and my door has a window that has a glass that I could still peek on the kids what they're doing, but then I'm talking to this kid, and I use a very small whisper voice so that the others will not hear what I'm talking to that child about. But the others know that, oh no, if you're being called outside, that is not a good thing. so, so yeah. So so the others are saying that they learn a lot. Thank you so much for saying that. In the chat, they were saying, "Thank, I learned something. Thank you, Doc." Yeah, Nympha said that, and then me too from Jackie. Can I share about it, Doc? Jackie, go ahead, Jackie.
Yes, you mentioned about the first month. I was so shocked when my students will always explain me something. I told the student, no, you are not supposed to say something that way to me. I am your teacher. I am your teacher. I say, no, I'm just explaining. No, we can talk that one privately. So I was so shocked because in the Philippines I was not used to it. So I realized that I'm not compare I should not be comparing because Philippines is really different from America. So
Mhm.
suddenly I need to, when the student will be doing something, so I have to say, so and so, come and see me. We need to talk. So the only difference is that the student will always listen. And when I talk to that student, and they will be talking eyes to eyes, so I'll say, "What did you do? Is that good or right?" And the student will say, "That's not good, Miss Melendres. So what will you do? What will you do?" So the student will explain that way in that one. And I was so and also you're talking about your shorts, so I'm also that. I'm also short, so I need to wear that thick heels for me to,
Be taller,
because
yeah.
yes, to make me taller, because my fifth grade, some of them are tall, some
Yeah,
of them are not. So I
yeah.
need to do that one. And then anyways, so this time, to sum up everything from the bottom of my heart, I would like to say thank you, Doc, and to all the rest of the teacher. Is that Miss Maria? Is that
Yes.
so? So I would like to say thank you. I've gained a lot because I keep on I'm looking my email just to cope up. When was that Dr. Melina's a Zoom meeting? I really wanted to join because I had a hard time coping up with the different changes here.
Mhm.
So this time is really a great time that I look at my email and say, God, this is the right timing. This is the right time. I need to attend this meeting. This is very important to me. So
Very-
I'm so happy that I've learned a lot. So after Thanksgiving, I have to apply this one.
Yeah, good, good. And you let us know, come back and let us know what happened, if it's effective or not. I like that you said what's your plan, because that's always a good thing to ask the students. So what's your plan? And the tone that you use, Jackie, you might want to change it too. You know,
Mm, okay.
you don't sound like you're mad at them. You need to just be
Okay.
like sweetheart. Some of them don't like to be called sweetheart. So Johnny, I noticed that you do this. So what were you thinking? Why were you doing that? Explain it to me. I would always
Okay.
like very calm voice, and I would just have them like give the work back to them. Explain it to me. What
Mm,
what were you thinking? What were you thinking that was going to happen? So I remembered you telling me that you're going to be a doctor someday. So do you think that what you did today will help you become a doctor? All that. So will that be aligned to the goal that you want in your life, which is to become a doctor? So I would always like tie it back to what I know about them. But then they know that I care about them. I'm not like trying to scold them just with my voice. So when you use the voice that you just did just now, if I were a student, I will not act very nicely, because
okay.
it sounds like you're mean to me. It sounds like you're being not nice to me. And in America, they're not used to that. They wanted, because their parents are going to be calm and we're going to be talking to them. Like when I talk to
Mm,
dad and he's doing something, I'm going to be talking to him like an adult. Like even though he's a child, I'm going to be like, okay, Jet, explain to me, what were you thinking? Why did you take your shoes off and kick the cactus? Well, mommy, I just want to know how it feels like. Like, so things like that. You just have to be calm. Like, this is your child, this is your student. I know you're not married, but this is your child. How would you want another person to talk to that child? So that's why having the discipline of having the imaginary parent next to that child, you're not going to be using that tone, right? Because the
um,
parent. So think about that. There's an invisible parent next to this child that I'm talking to, and when you do that, then you kind of get reminded. I think, but I was guilty about what you're doing too. So don't feel bad. I'm not scolding you. It's just that I learned a lot. My sister Milet was actually the one that had modeled it to me, because we would watch each other's classroom a lot. Like if she's doing project, we're doing project every month, and we were each other's audiences a lot. So I would watch her doing, talking to her kids, and I'm like, she's so calm. And this is before she had children, right? So she's so calm and just talking to them like she's talking, but parang talagang very kind ba. Sabi ko, I need to do that. So- and so later on, I really start following that. Like, you have to talk kindly, be very kind to your students, and they will respond back to you with kindness,
mm,
because they know that you care. You're not there to get them. You're there to support them. So just kind of let them feel that, and you'll be a much more successful teacher. I guarantee you, because I really found a difference. I really saw the difference when I start talking like Milet does. She is so good at it. And anyway, that's why I told Maria, I said, one of these days I need to have you see Milet's classroom, because it's amazing. Like, she's my hero on that, and we always kind of say each other to that, but I really mean it, that she really is my hero when it comes to like classroom discipline and how to talk to the kids, and how she's strict, but at the same time the kids know that my teacher loves me, my teacher cares about me, and she will be disappointed if I do this. And you want to get to that point where the kids are afraid to disappoint you, because they care about you and they don't want you to have that look like, oh, you're disappointing me, you make me sad. Because what do you think? I guess you want to make the kids know that you're not mad at the child. You're unhappy, you're disappointed with the action that the child did, but you are not mad about the child. Your child will always be you always be your loving student, but you are not happy about the action that, or the choices that the child did. And that's what I very obvious about to say. You know what, that really disappointed me, because I have very high expectations of you, and I really think that you're like, the kids in the class are looking at you as a model, as a leader, and I'm disappointed that that's what they see. And I know you can do better. Yeah, and all this, I will always kind of more of cheering them up. And I was like, so now we've talked, what's your plan? what's your next action? What's your plan? Tell me about your plan. And so then they have to tell me what they're planning. Okay, I'm going to do this. I'm not going to do this. I'm going to do, I'm when I get home, I'm going to do this. They tell you their plan, but you are giving them the platform to think and to tell them about what their actions are. And I think that goes a long, long way. If you just have to use your nice voice, okay? Look, you can do it. You can do it, Jackie. Yeah.
Yes. Thank you, Doc.
Okay. But anyway, how about the others? I know we have a lot of people today, and we have some people that said they have company. Myrna, I think, said that they have to leave because they have company. Diana, I know you are Betsy's cousin, right? And I have my cousin here too. Do you have a question for me? If you raise your hand, Maria can see you and respond if you have a question or a comment for us. This is like a learning thing, We want you to learn, and we learn from you too. That's why I love doing this, because I also learn from you, and then I bring it back, to share. One thing that I shared with Abby and Leslie this week was when I went to the school. I'm a new instructional coach now all over the state. So this one school, I noticed that every classroom has this sign, and it has noise level. And the noise level is 0, means that you're being quiet. So just put noise level, and I put 0 equals quiet. Level 1 equals whisper. So when you are in level 1, you are whispering to each other. And level 2 is just a regular talk. We're just talking right now. We're in level 2. And then level 3 is when you're presenting something, like you have to make your voice bigger because you're presenting to the rest of the class. So if I'm a teacher, all I have to do is show them number 1, and they know they have to whisper. And if I show them my fist that says 0, that means they're supposed to be really quiet right now, because it's a 0. But 1 means you're going to be whispering. Like if they are working as a pair or as a group, they should be on level 1. They should not even be in level 2, because then the class will be so loud. So they're whispering to each other. So it's level 1. So anyway, so I think that's cool to have that level thing when your students know about what those numbers mean, because that helps you not to have to get them in trouble verbally. As long as you're not a screamer, like some teachers are screamer and they would scream to the kids, which is really a big no. You should never do that. But anyway, so Diana, do you have any comment? Fran, do you have any comment? Let me see. Let's see. Thanks for the flapper headed by Doc Merlina. Okay, you're welcome, Jackie. Anybody else that would have a comment or question for us? Do you have anything that you are struggling in your classroom, or successes that you have in your classroom that you wanted to share? Things that are your favorite things that you do every year because it works. We would love to hear about that. Since nobody's sharing, I want to share with you my sister's my sister Mallet's thing. The first month of school, she has this all about me unit, like knowing about the kids. She would have them starting from autobiography about themselves to poetry about themselves, just all kinds of poetry that they talk about themselves and their family and what they think about, about things. And it's all about the kid. Like she would know her kids, every one of her kids, the first month of school, because her whole unit is about self-identity. It's about knowing the child. And so you are really knowing what they're thinking. You're really knowing about their family and their hopes and dreams in the future. I kind of have my own version of it. I would do like a daily journal where I would say things like, okay, in what's your 5-year plan? What's your 10-year plan? Well, how do you, when someday you become an adult, you have family, how many kids do you plan to do? Draw your future house, things like that. I would do little things like that in elementary. And it was kind of neat because we used it in a book. I mean, they put it together as a book every quarter. So we have 4 books. And so the parents love them because they got to know what their kids are thinking in the future. So when they read them, like, oh my gosh, Merlina, thank you for doing this, because I would never have known that my child thinks this way. My child wants this, that my child wants 6 children, or my child did not want any children. It's so funny. So during parent teacher conference, those little books that they have made, that we make sure that we have it put together before the parent teacher conference, then we talk about it. and we see the writing, because we write every day in different ways. They could be writing a letter to the character, they could be writing a letter to somebody in school or whatever, they could be thanking somebody, anything, little things. We always writing. And so they have lots of choices on what they want to put in their book. They don't have to put everything in their book. They're only putting things that they choose to put in their book, and the others they can just take it home. But if they want to publish in the book, I have a little a big container there with all their writings that they want to be in the book when they put it together. So every 4 times a year they would be putting this book, and I would have it like bound at the co-op. We have co-ops here. Back then they were only charging 25 cents or something to buy the hooks and all that, and they were putting it together for us. So all that my kids have to do was put the cover page with their drawing or whatever, the big title, and then they have to have the extra page blank, and they usually end up to become a um um autograph page. And then they would have their about the author in the back, so that about them's more their biography. And then any little extras they want to put in the back before they get it bound, and they have the back cover. And then so when it's put together, the kind of thing is so neat that they called it book one, and then book two, book three, book four. So every year they would have those 4 books that they would have for my classroom. So any of my former students, like, I still have your book. I still have the book I made in your classroom. And anyway, so things like that. That's kind of neat now that they are now parents. They're showing it to their kids now that I did it in Miss McCall's class. So anyway, so any little things like that, you just come up with it. My sister Milet always like, oh my gosh, every time you turn around, she's cooking something. She always has her that little slow cooker. She always has that going in her classroom. Like when she has her mentors, she's our kids. You have early finishers, the kids that are so smart, they get finished quickly, and you don't want to give them more work, but you can assign them to say you are a mentor now. So you're in the next level now, and then the others are mentees, and the mentees get to choose who they want to be a mentor. And so she would say things like, okay, if you've been a mentor so many times, then on Friday I have this, she will have this cooking or whatever that she cooks, all morning long, smelling so good in her room, that you eat lunch with me. So the mentor table, she had this mentor table that she ate lunch with every Friday. And so they love to become mentors. And so she would do things like that, special things for her mentors. And so, but then it makes it like a strong learning community, because they really care for each other. Like, that's my mentee, and they're so proud of that child's success, because that they help each other. And so that classroom, oh my gosh, it's amazing. It's a when even after I retired, I would have like at least once or twice a year I would go visit her classroom, because I just want to see how it works. And she always makes you feel so special when you're observing in her classroom. She always, like, you feel like you're honored, to be there. And she has this little cozy room where you have a little couch, it's like leather couches there, and it makes you feel like a home. So she have the decorations like it is a home. She wants to be an interior designer, so her room looks like an interior designer did it. She always did my classroom. I would be ready to plan in my head all the things I'm gonna do, but my classroom is ready, and hers is the opposite. Her classroom looks so ready, but she did not know what she's gonna do. So between the two brains, a complete brain. But so that's what it is. So Maria, you've been in Miley's classroom, right? Have taken you there, right?
Yeah, I've been there one
So
time.
what's your impression of her classroom? How did
It's homey.
Yeah, that's
Oh,
it. That's what I was
i-
thinking. Always
it's
homey.
homey and cozy.
Yeah, cozy. Everything is organized. Every time's got a place in, and it's just like it's just really, really nice, nicely decorated. Yeah, and so of course most of these things are her things from her house. The school did not do it. Okay, who's that? Who's this one in the? Whose is this? This man right here.
Hi, Doc.
Hey, where are you? Where are you? You are
All right, so this is Arthur. You can still remember
Arthur.
me?
Where the Arthur?
Yeah.
Are you?
Yeah, so I'm working in Florida, south of Excellence, and yeah, it's good. And
From?
thank you so much for all your help and all the tips.
Yeah.
Yes,
Are you
but
using it?
right,
Are you
but
using?
right now I'm here in Georgia
Yeah.
for for a whole break
Oh,
vacation.
Cool. Well, I'm so proud of you. When I heard that you did get a job and you're here, and I said, "Well, I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised because he already talked like an American." You know.
No. And oh no, Doc, I'm planning also to like maybe to transfer this coming school year. Um, like I had like I could say that our school not so like
That's so
for me I could say that I will not grow in there, right?
great.
Because since we have what we call a cultural exchange, I never get from
Yes.
them. Like it's only like for myself that I exploring there.
Uh huh.
Know from the administration that they given us like a training and all the stuff. Yeah,
Oh.
it's a private school.
Oh. Okay. Yeah, you can do a public school. Where did you want to go? Did you want to come to Arkansas?
Maybe I'm looking for some public school here in Miami.
Miami. Okay.
Some yeah, this is closest to our place. But I try to applying starting this month for the
Mhm.
coming school year.
You should get one though because Miami's always looking for something. You can use your Spanish there because there's mostly Spanish speaking there. You
Yeah,
almost yeah
yeah.
feel like
Most of them are Spanish speaking, and I
yeah
try to learn more also that
yeah
language.
go to yeah
Oh my God, I would like to share with our school like in terms of supplies we're lacking like you just me myself I just bought my
oh
own like printer, and
oh
then one thing is that uh actually I did not tell with this one to my visa sponsor which is the JAC, but something like my loads is so like I had 7 loads every day. It's
uh,
too yeah, like I'm handling Ella,
mm,
6th grade to 12th grade.
ooh, it's a
Yeah,
lot.
it's a
But
lot.
wow, you have to remember, Arthur, that private school they do not have to follow the rules of the public
Yeah,
school.
yes,
Yeah.
Doc. And one thing is that our visa sponsor required them to help us to help us to provide with the teaching certificate, but no, they will not willing to help us because maybe they're thinking that after we have a certificate, we could easily transfer to the other school.
Mm-hmm.
So and this visa sponsor just like hands off, like they just saying, okay, we just issue a certificate that these teachers are working with you, and you are not required with a certificate from the state, from the Department of Education.
They're not because they're private school. They're not required. That's right.
Yes,
Yeah.
and
Well,
then from like no, this last November 14 is our like my 3 months, but no, I haven't received any training from them. All
wow.
of us like, oh, they're really bad
No
experience.
pay at all. Yeah, you need to go to public school. Miami would
Yes.
school that you might like because they would be kind of more like Filipinos, right? The kids are like the Hispanic kids. You will also
Mm,
get some kids who will not behave, but they are very close to how Filipinos act, I think.
yes. Yes, that.
Yeah. So I hope you do get one. And if you ever decide to come to Arkansas, let me know. I have a school that's looking for some that are already here, but they don't want to steal anybody from the same state. They don't want to hire anybody from Arkansas that's already
Oh,
here.
okay. All
And
right.
other,
Nice to hear that, Doc.
they said you don't want to steal from other superintendents from,
Oh,
but
and
from
then
the
now you look different as I see you now. Like it's different, more younger and blooming.
whoa.
Yes.
But
Yes, you don't have a stress, Doc. You don't have a stress. You look more younger.
well, thank you. No, everybody's got stress. That. But Arthur, I'm so
Yes,
glad
exactly.
now. Are you what is the starting pay in Florida? I mean, private school do not pay well either.
Yeah, I mean our monthly annual is that $40,000, but we are free on like the house. We have a house and also like a service going to school.
Okay.
The
Well,
house,
that's thing. That's a good. The house thing is a big one because in Miami you're gonna have to be careful because Miami you have to check about the rent because the rent there will be high and a bunch
yes,
I know
very high.
is very high. So
Like
you
we are like in a house in one house we have a separate for Filipino teachers. I think we are five, and the other house also with the girls they're also like five, so we are all 10 Filipino teachers.
Oh,
in that
okay.
school.
Yeah, but if you apply in another place, you need to make sure you have roommates with you because you're not going to be able to afford a house by yourself.
Yes, Doc, that's a good. That's a good. Yeah, I'm looking. Yeah, I have also a friend now here in Florida, so maybe.
Yeah,
Yeah,
one or two roommates. Yeah, because that's going to be expensive. If you have to think about how much you're paying there, I mean
yeah,
the
40,000
yeah
annual,
1,000. That's an extra 9,000. So
and
you
then it's like a $19 per hour.
okay?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, they are they are 50,000 here in Arkansas, but the standard of living is so low that you don't spend much money, but there's also not much going on. Like if you've
Mm-hmm.
been in Florida and you move to Arkansas, you're gonna think it's so boring because there's a lot of things to do in Florida, and there's not much to do here. So,
Oh,
but
okay.
you're working the whole time anyway, so you just have to find some ways to have
Yeah,
fun.
I try to. Yeah, so I started applying this month because right now some of the public schools they're welcome right now for this coming school year.
Yeah, yeah, they
Yeah,
Yeah, they are. Jackie's asking on her chat, Arthur, which county are you in Florida? So because she's also in Florida.
Miami-Dade. Ah, okay, the other one.
Yeah, that's the biggest one, Miami-Dade County. Okay. Now, Jackie, where are you?
I'm in Deltona, Florida. I'm in the Volusia County,
Oh,
Okay.
and I'm working on Pride Elementary School.
oh, that's good. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, so
So
we're the same state.
it's the same state. Isn't it amazing? That would be nice if you
Yes.
are.
Yeah, we have in the
Right.
same state, but luckily, you, Sir Arthur, there is your house is free. Ours,
Yeah.
we are going to spend 675
Each
per month,
person.
Oh,
each
Yeah.
okay.
person, and it is a shared room.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that's very expensive there. How about the utilities, Arthur? Did you have to pay for the utilities, like the electric?
No, no, we haven't. On the internet, um,
Oh,
free.
Arthur,
Yes.
that's at least $1,000 that you're saving. So you need to be careful about that. With another job, you're not gonna have to be free. So, but
Uh,
then they should pay you at least 50 something or 60
yes,
something.
yes, yes.
Yeah,
I don't know with the public school how much their salary
it
the
it
public
starts
school.
it starts at 50 in
Oh,
Arkansas. But
mm,
that's a public information. So all you have to do is go to the website of the school you're gonna be applying, and that is a public information. Should be
But
published.
in our county, doc, in our county, we receive only 48,000.
48.
okay.
Yeah.
So, all right.
So
But actually, it's not a rule there here. Like I am expecting, well, be here. I'll be here since I am a 17 years in service. I need to earn higher than that. But it's explained in the district that it is 0 to 20. That could be that 48,000. So
Oh,
20 to
okay.
35 or more, the pay will be higher.
mm, okay.
Oh, oh, okay.
So
Nobody could reach that 20
yeah,
survey.
Yeah, I
Person
need 3
service.
years more to go
Oh,
to have
yeah.
yeah,
They have
that.
me.
yeah.
It's a 14 years and 7 months. I live Dep Ed, and no, I really miss my insurance. So it's fine. It's a risk for the better future though.
Yeah, but Arthur, did you say you have family that you're bringing here, or you're single?
No, I'm single.
You're single. Okay, maybe you'll find some good old American woman there.
Yeah. Yes, I'm looking to now. I'm dating with someone.
Are you already? Look, are you already
Yes.
dating? Oh, good for you.
Yes.
Good. She American
Yeah.
citizen? She American
Yeah.
citizen? Okay. Well, if you get married, Arthur, you get your green card immediately.
Yes.
Don't do it just for the
Right.
it's a fraud. If you have
Yeah.
a,
It's so.
so you better love each other and do that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Doc. I really
Yeah.
appreciate it. And then I just
So,
amazed like how the people connects with you and sharing all this stuff like those opinions, informations from you.
well, you're doing that now. What are the things that you can share? What 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 you're sharing? Positive
Like
things. So
oh okay. So yeah, for especially for those who are still applying. So think positive. Like I know that God has also like a purpose. Like me, I did not expect that uh, last October, August, I'll be here in. I got the sponsor. So unexpected. So I decided that's for me that's a really like a risk for me because I lived up at like 14 years and 7 months. So I need like more months to have the what call this one retirement, but it's
Mm.
fine. Yeah,
You start over.
yes,
Yeah,
it's
but times 8 or times 10 is worth it, right?
yeah, exactly. Doc, I really appreciate it.
Yeah.
And
Another
yes,
job, you need to add 10,000 because what the benefits you're doing now from your transportation and housing, that's about $10,000 worth. So if another
mhm.
account give you 50, yeah, so it's similar to your 40. Yeah.
Yes. So that's what also what our principal minded. Like if you
Yeah.
transfer to the other schools, they do it that it's more than 50 because the house and they
Yeah.
give is like almost like 10,000 also.
Yeah. Are you already driving or you have your dog
Yeah,
now?
I have with my friend here. We just do trail in the famous like Stone Mountain here in Atlanta.
Ah, so
Yeah.
you're over
Yeah,
here.
he didn't tell you
You're,
it was that it was 5 miles up and down.
That's
Okay.
my friend Alfredo.
hello,
Oh,
hello. Yeah. Well, thank you for taking care of Arthur.
yes. He's a
Yeah.
doctor in education.
Yes, my pleasure.
No, no, it's okay. But anyhow, so Arthur, so do you have any leads on, like, you think that you will have a good chance of getting in Miami?
Yes.
You
This
have a
public
good,
school. Yeah.
yeah. Do you have,
Yes.
okay. What helps you is if you know someone from that school, you need to make sure you use them as a reference so they will recognize the name and whatever the role is there. That's always a good thing because when I was administrator, when I got applications, I always look at the references. And when I notice that I know the person that's referencing, that I'm calling that person. So it has to be someone that liked you because then they will say something good about you. Yeah.
Yes.
One of my sisters works for Dade County Public School Boards.
There
Yeah.
you
His sister also working in the public school.
I don't know.
yeah.
Should we go shower first?
Yeah.
I can't go dirty.
All right, Doc. Thank you so much, Doc, for your time,
You're
for
welcome.
this
Thank
time allowing.
If I was by myself, I would
You're
go
right. Thank
sweating like
you.
this. But
God
I'm
bless
with
everyone.
okay. Nice surprise. Thank you so
Right.
much. Okay, bye.
Thank you.
Fun.
Bye.
Okay.
Are we gonna go change to go
Bye.
to have breakfast?
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Bye.
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 Bye. That was so
What'd you
nice.
say?
Yeah, that was so nice surprise that Arthur talked to us because I've been wanting him to show up because that's like, hey, if you're already here, please be our guest speaker. Because I have a few of them that are in another state and now they're just forgetting about us and they don't show up. So I'm so proud of him. I'll have to email him and thank him. But because when you get here, please do not forget us. You need to share. You know how it feels right now to hear from Jackie, Arthur, Maria. So you need to be them when you get here and share what you learned because it's kind of like paying it forward, right? Yeah. So anyway, that's the difference between he's just showing you the difference between a public school and a private school. Public school here is actually paying a lot more than a private school. The private school is not covered by the same laws as the public school, so there's not going to be much rules that were kind of tell them to do this, to do that, because they are private. They're privately owned. That means that a lot of the times they are actually Catholic schools, and which means that the students' parents are paying for it. And so then the nuns or the priest, whoever's running it, are gonna want to please the parents. I have how I knew that is because when I was doing my lead evaluation for advanced ed for Cognia, where I would do accreditation visits to school, I have done a few Catholic schools. I did one in New York, St. Mary something. And anyway, so that's how I learned that the rules that they have are different are different than the public school. That in a lot of ways, especially if you are religious, though, you would really feel like feeling rewarded. It feels rewarding because you are actually having kids that are religious, that are they have church every day, they attend church every day, and they have, I think the behavior is a little better, by the way, guys. Yeah, the behavior would be better. I should have talked to Arthur about that, because they behave. At least that's what I noticed, that they behave. I also went to Taguig. Taguig. It was also a private school. It's an international school in Taguig, Manila, and the students were also very well behaved. Of course, they were, I think, rich people's kids. But anyway, so with nannies and drivers and all that coming into school, but so that's a good thing to know, that you're in the same state, though, Jackie. How many miles is that, Jackie?
Um, I'm not so sure, Doc, but
Okay.
I'm in Deltona,
Daytona. Okay.
Deltona, Florida.
Yeah.
Yes. So I heard with Sir Arthur that um is it fine to look for a job to another place or another state? So what is the best state that I can apply, just like a higher compensation? We are earning 48,000 a year.
But
Can
you
I
will
have
earn more like in New York and other places, but the standard of living is so high that by the time you count it,
Mm.
it's about the same, or if not more, where you are, because it depends on the standard of living. So when you do not just go with what they're getting paid for, you need to, once you know
mm,
that, then you research on how much rent is, how much, all the difference, because like Arthur's situation, he was getting about $10,000 worth of free things. So even though he said he was only making 40, he was actually making 50, because of the benefits that he was given, transportation, free utilities, free housing, free internet,
yes.
those are free. So that's about $10,000 worth, so but
Mm-mm.
worth times 9 or 10 months. So that's why you have to look at it that way, that even though I might be making money here, but then am I how much money am I spending in New York? It's not rare to find apartments that are worth $2,500, $3,000. That's just one small apartment. So even
Mm.
though money, but you're paying more, that's a $27,000 difference, just for the apartment part.
Like
So
in New Mexico, though, that could be good.
I don't know. You'll have to find out from Mexico. You can go to Zillow.
Mm.
You go to Zillow.com, then you can go type the name of the town. It's
Mm-mm.
ZIW, and then Zillow.com or apartments.com. And then you type the name of the town, and then you can see how much the rent are. And that way because the utilities would be about the same. It will be the rent that makes the difference. So you might
Okay.
that, then you can kind of do your math, then times nine. So whatever the rent is, if it's a difference of 1,000 times nine, that's a $9,000 difference for the year. So even if you make 9,000 more, you really are making the same, because you're paying a lot more. So you just have to look at that. Go to Zillow.com or apartments.com, and do your research about the standard of living. Yeah. And I think the electricity in America is pretty kind of similar, not big difference. Of course,
Mm-mm.
you're gonna have your internet and so on. Internet budget about at least 100, for the internet. And so anyway, so by the time, I think if you have a roommate in Arkansas, for example, I'm thinking that they would total with the utilities and the rent, they would be about $500 for them for each. So
Mm.
because in Arkansas. They're getting $1,000 for, I mean, $600. I think, what is it? 450, I think, for or 600
For
for,
me.
so they have $600, and then they only have to pay 300 each. And then
Wow.
they split everything for the utilities and things. So in Arkansas, standard of living. So they start at 50,000. Everybody's guaranteed 50,000. But the thing is, there's nothing going on here. It's very quiet, parang probinsya. So it's very
I
quiet.
love that.
Yeah, if you're a person that likes to party and like big cities, you don't come here, because unless you are in the big little rock.
I love that one. That's why I choose Florida, because I'm living here in a quiet place also. See
But
outside.
yeah,
It's very quiet.
well,
If we
the
want if we want to have we will be going to Orlando, because
mm,
there is that Disney World in there, the
yeah.
Sea World. Yeah, but it's too far.
Yeah. So when we go to if we ever do a field trip there, we'll have to contact you and see if you could guide us, because you know what? You can buy cheaper tickets in Disney World if you're local.
Yeah, I
So you
went
go with,
there. I went there for free.
yeah. Oh, well, so Jackie, if you can get us tickets as a local, then we can save a lot of money for a local.
Sure. Just
Yeah.
tell me.
You'll
So we
have to
can meet in person, Doc.
yeah, won't that be
I'm,
nice?
I'm I'm so glad to meet you in person, and I'm going to say thank you. You know,
You're
you
wel-
guide me as always. When I was in the Philippines, I was not able to go on your to be in the Zoom because I had a hard time adapting the change in here. So this time, I really wanted to speak out and say thank you
Oh,
from
you're
the
welcome.
bottom of my heart.
You're welcome. Are really helping the others as well, because they, those like Giselle, for example. Giselle had been, nearly in everyone. This is a 60th video, and that assume that they are learning a lot. Somebody's raising their hand. Who is it? Somebody's hand is raised. Can somebody tell me? Maria, can you tell me whose hands are raised? My thing is stuck. Let's see. So is that, who is that? Jackie. Your one's hands are raised. Jackie, is that you?
It's Jackie though.
Oh, okay. So Giselle, what are the things, you are one of my regulars, if not the very very regular here. What can you say to others who just now came in?
Hello everyone again. All I can say is I've been here since September 2022, and I have learned so many things from the things from the how to answer application questions to classroom strategies that is very helpful in the classroom, not only in America but also here in the Philippines.
Yeah,
And I think I really learned a lot from also from the teachers who are already in America.
yeah,
So they've been sharing also the things they learned there. So all I can say is I've enjoyed every meeting I had in this group, and it helped me a lot really. Not just because I wanted to go in the US, but as a teacher, because I have learned so many things, and I realized that there are things or I could be better. I could still be better
yeah.
other than the things that I've been doing.
Well, very good. I'm glad to hear that, because you obviously have a very good growth mindset. That's good to hear. Yeah, I can't wait for you all to be interviewed. I was talking to the West Memphis bunch, of course, because of the Thanksgiving. They're gonna do everything after Thanksgiving, and that led me to remind me to talk to Erwin. Erwin, I have given you information, but he said that he will talk after Thanksgiving. So you may get an invitation after Thanksgiving, and the others that I have sent. But is Erwin still here? I see his
Yes,
name, but
yes, Doc, I'm here.
so Erwin, he has your
Yes,
information,
Doc.
that it was so busy they were doing some kind of banquet or whatever for the kids, and so he said, "Well,
Yeah,
I'm out of time to do these interviews," and I think he's gonna want to have his hand held the first time, because they've never done international teachers, so he may want me to. I said, "I don't know if you want me to sit there in the interview, because it feels like I'm coaching and I'm in the field playing. I should be coaching on the side,
yeah,
not with teachers, because I'm helping these teachers. I should not be there on the other side."
yeah,
So I said, but I said, just kind of treat them like you would local. You ask them the same
yeah,
question. I said, because I really feel like it's not fair if I get to hear the questions and I reveal it, and the others, it felt like cheating to me. So I should not hear it. And so anyway, I'm
mhm,
just gonna encourage him to, like, just do your own thing. So,
yeah. Well, Doc, I'm just waiting for for an email. I'm always looking at my email, waiting for any invitation interview.
okay.
And
He said he will start
aside
with
from Doc, again, Doc.
he will practice with you, he said.
All right.
Yeah,
I
but
hope that practice will make it into reality and everything
yeah.
will make it into reality.
So too, you never believe it until it happens, because some people plan and
Mhm.
plan and plan, and sometimes the decision is not up to them. I mean, he is the human
Yeah.
resource. They will actually, hire the one that decide on hiring,
Mhm.
but they still have powers above them that would decide on the money.
Yeah.
Because I talked to them about H1B, and he is very sold on H1B, but I do not know
Uh,
if he sold it to the superintendent and school board. So I do not
mhm.
know, but I know that his name is Kendrick Harvey.
Hendrik.
Kendrick, yeah, Kendrick would be his name, yeah, first name. And so,
Okay.
anyway, Kendrick said he's very sold on H1B. He said he thinks that it's a good idea, so we don't have to, like, send you all back in 3 years or whatever, and then have to come
Yeah.
back. So H1B would be the way to go. And I did show him the difference between the two, but the big difference is
Yeah.
that one is more permanent, the other one is more of a teacher exchange.
Mhm.
So yeah, and of course, the huge difference for the school is that they have to pay for 100% of it. you know so it's going to be very lucky for whoever you all that get hired, because it doesn't cost you anything unless you
Yeah.
bring a wife or children. Then you have to pay for that, not the school. You don't I don't think you hardly find a school that would pay for your family. Usually they pay for
Mhm.
you, because that's not really their responsibility. It's yours. But because the pay is so high, you can get them within 3. Some people like Abby actually went ahead and had her husband interview with her, but then they didn't really have the money yet, so she waited a month or two, and then once she saved the money, then she brought her husband here. He was already approved with her, but I think they give you like 6 months to bring them. So they don't have because it's hard when you have to borrow money, while you're
Yeah.
there. So expensive for the fare. It's like
Yeah, that's
1,000.
true.
That's about 75,000 pesos for one person to come. And so if you have, like Abby has 4 kids. So she brings all her kids here. You're talking $300,000 to pesos, 300,000 pesos to that's $6,000 to bring them here. So, but anyway, and then when you get here, you have housing and all that, because when you have families, you usually do not have roommates anymore, because it's your family. Like, I think Abby and Leslie, they're not here today. Abby and Leslie, I think Leslie is moving today to a different house. So that's why she's so busy. And she said, yeah, we're moving Saturday. So that's why I understood that she won't be on the Zoom, because they're moving to another place, because this place became available. It's owned by a Filipina lady, bought this house and it's for sale. It's really clean house, sounds like. And so if they don't take it, they might not have another opportunity to get a house like that. So they're taking it. So I'm excited for them. I told her I can't wait to see it, because they're gonna be moving the next few days. So
Well,
anyway, so Erwin, did you say
yeah.
you have right? You have a husband and you have a wife and
Oh
kids?
no, Doc, I'm totally single.
Oh, you how old are you?
31,
Oh,
going to be 32 on December 16.
I got a perfect Filipino teacher for you here. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah,
I,
I'm actually wondering who I am going to bring it there, but I don't have a wife, child, so I don't have to worry about it.
yeah. Well, the thing is, like Maria, I was teasing Maria, Maria might still be here, that she's dating somebody local now. And so I said, Maria, it's gonna be easier for you if you and Zay will just get married. You don't have to sign the
Yeah.
paperwork, you know, if you're really in love with each other, but they both are not ready, they're young.
Mhm.
So, but yeah, some of the Filipinos, we have a Filipina couple, two Filipina ladies that married each other, and they same school, and they went to Vegas and got married, and that's very accepted here in America,
Mhm.
and they're married, and she is, I guess they're processing their papers now for her green card, and so anyway,
Yeah.
but don't ever just marry someone for green card. That's big no, that's a
Yeah,
big.
that's true.
So marry them because you love them, not because of their papers.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes, Doc. I'm
but
I'm 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 actually preparing myself for the interview, trying to dig all the reviewers you have sent to us and
yeah,
all my reviewers so that I could give the right answer.
yeah,
And I believe I just have to to stay in my core. All my
yeah,
experiences from the past years that I've been teaching high school.
Yeah. Hey, do me a favor. Whenever you get the appointment interview with him, I want you to contact me, and we will do a one-on-one practice interview. You will feel better after I do that, because then I will correct your answer
Oh,
before you actually do the actual one, and you can take notes. Well,
oh,
I'll record it, then you can watch it to see, because I will give you a suggestion. Okay, let's practice right now. So, Erwin,
oh my
so
God.
so how do you handle kids that are a kid misbehave or doesn't do any work in your classroom? How do you handle that?
Um, Actually, Doc, it's a two different scenarios. One is unmotivated, and the other one is misbehaving. So let's start first with this unmotivated
Mm-hmm.
students. Um, in my classes, I have actually yearly I've been encountering students that are unmotivated, and I always before the class, before the start of the school year, even the very first discussion every year, I'm always motivating them by looking forward of what they really want to be. That's how I motivate my students, because without this settlement of, I mean, setting this goal, they are not looking to the future that they have to study well, they have to do the work very well. So that's the first thing that I have to establish, to look
Go.
at their future, what they really want to be, their ambitions. If they want to become an engineer, so let's do it. In
Mm-hmm.
terms of all the context that I will be giving to them, teaching to them. And from that moment up to the succeeding days, succeeding weeks, I've observed that even the most not, I don't know the right term, but not the most intelligent, not an intelligent um learner is getting motivated with that kind of motivation. And I think it's a big thing that before the class, before the start of the school year, we have to try them to look at what they really want to be, because that's the start of a new learning, of a whole school year of learning. The
Mm-hmm.
sweat, tears, and all of the tiredness that they will be encountering from day to day basis. And in terms of this disruptive or students that are misbehaving, um I'm always trying to talk to them privately. I don't want to talk to them in front of the class, in front of other teachers. I always try to ask them, what happened, where are you coming from, what's the situation, and why are you behaving like that? Because I have to understand that thing. Without me understanding that thing, I don't know what to do, what how to solve the problem, what the solution I could apply to the problem. And then um if the initial probably the initial, the primary solution that I've already gave to the students, and it doesn't work, it didn't work. And that's the thing, that's the right time to call the parents, try to call the parents, ask the parents about, I mean, tell the parents what is happening to the students, um the words that students are giving to others, or are they, is the student is hurting other students. Actually, I've encountered that last year, and it makes me cry, because that's the first time again, probably the second time it happened after 5 years. And it's a Muslim student. And Muslims are Filipinos, some of them, most of them in the Philippines, they are Filipinos, and they are not actually the same like Filipinos in Luzon and Filipinos in in the southernmost part of the Philippines, which are Muslims. They have different culture in terms of these approaches. And one time I am already teaching in my college classes at night. A parent told me that he wants to talk to me wherever I am right that moment. So I'm terrified. I don't know what to do. So I tell the parents that no, I can't talk to you right now because I'm doing my work, and it's already night. It's not the right time to do this or to settle this thing in terms of your student, because actually it's really my fault because I'm a math teacher, and I believe that in order to learn, students must do the things, the learning process. I believe in John Dewey that um, doing is learning. So I've been giving a lot of things to my students, and that's the reason why that parent called me, because I've been giving a lot of things, engineering learning materials that they have to accomplish, and these are the due dates. And then he called me and tried to talk to me, but I wasn't able to talk to him that time. It's already 9 p.m. I am in my college class, and then I asked him to talk to me the next day, and so I meet him the next day, and he was so angry and trying to he's cooperating. He's trying to settle the things, and he wants me to reduce all the this works that her child is, I mean, his child is doing for a long period of time. And that's terrifying. Anyway, going back to the situation, I have to talk to the parents. I have to settle, to have an agreement of what I need to do, what we need to do, and communicate properly. I think that's the best thing to do.
Yeah.
And
Very good. The answer, I like that you did an example of a child.
yeah,
You I wonder if yeah, and I like the when you said about, if a child misbehaves, you ask about privately what happened, why are you behaving like this, because that shows that you care about this child. And you say, is there something I can do to help? That you could add that part. Is there something I can do to help you? Because
yeah,
sometimes it's something that's going on at home. Sometimes you may be able to help, or sometimes you may be able to have to collaborate with a counselor to get, refer that child to a counselor if it's beyond
yeah,
your ability to help, or even beyond that. So that's your collaboration piece. So you're actually talking, you remember the five core propositions, right? You talk about your knowledge of students, talk about what you know about your kids, and then of course, what they are not doing is your content. So what are the things that they may be struggling because of what they don't know? That's why maybe sometimes they misbehave because they don't really know the content, and that's how they cover it up. Sometimes it is a problem like that. So you also as a teacher want to know, is this something that's a skill issue, or is it really a behavior issue, or is it a
yeah,
home issue? So those are things that you have to determine. And then so knowledge of students, knowledge of content, and assessment. You were assessing, so at that time you're assessing, what does this child need,
yeah,
from me when you talk to them. And then of course your last two is reflection and your collaboration. So your collaboration piece would be you're calling the parents and
yes,
sending them. So you need to use the word reflection. So I reflected and found out that this one might
yeah,
work. But so if you do those five pieces, you did all of them but four, but for reflection. So if you do that, it's gonna be a very detailed answer, just like what you did, except the word reflection. And then on the goal setting, I love your answer on that, because once the children are setting their goals, then you can always use that. I'm like, you want to be an engineer.
yeah,
So I've done
yeah.
it, and that's awesome, because
Uh,
the kids that are not as successful, you call them struggling learners. So instead of saying not the successful, you say that the struggling learners in my classroom are this,
yeah,
whatever. So um when you said about Filipino Muslim, you might want to say things, because a Muslim right now is a very, very sensitive issue right now, because there's so many like
yeah.
hatred. So you may want to use the word our cultural minorities in the
Okay.
in the South or whatever. So we have cultural minorities in the Philippines, and they have different culture. And so I encountered a mother, a father that was, so in reflection, I reflected as a teacher, and you did that when you were talking to me. I reflected as a teacher that I must have given too much, work. So I need to also differentiate, because if you're answering me that question, I would say things like in my head, like, is this teacher differentiating? Why is he giving that much work? Like if a child is struggling, you should not be giving them as much work as the one that was succeeding. So you should be differentiating, the process, the product, or was the other P, I forgot. But anyway,
Okay.
so you have to like think about the things that they do on their own. There's a little rule here that says it's let me think. If you have a first, I mean, first grader would only get like 10 minutes of homework outside. So if you're teaching an eighth grader, so that's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, that's 70 more minutes. So you do about an hour and 10 minutes is all that they should be doing. So if they're
Mhm.
spending more than that, that means you're assigning too much. You
Okay.
assign work. So you need to kind of think of that rule that you cannot give too much homework for
Okay.
10 minutes per grade is what a good thing to remember. So a
Okay.
fourth grader might be 40 minutes work tops. you know so be thinking about how much do you think this one will take for every child. So you can give them five things and each one will be an hour. That's ridiculous. I would also be calling you if I were the parent, right? But
Okay.
so yeah, but how you handled it with that, oh, when you said I'm in my class, I cannot handle it right now. But if a parent is mad like that, you need to take the time to like step away and say, let me talk to you about that, because I know you can step away from the college thing, but you have to take care of that anger. That parent's not going to be able to sleep being mad at you. So I would like, let's, let me step out for a little bit and let me talk to you. And then kind of more of calm the parent down, like explain a little bit just to calm the parent down. And if you want more details, like want to spend more time talking about it, I would love to invite you for an appointment tomorrow during my planning time at
Okay.
10 o'clock, and I would love to talk to you more about it. But this is the gist of what happened, and I just want you to know that I really, like you, I wanted, our child to succeed. So
Yeah.
kind of make yourself to be in the same page with the parent. Do not have the parent like be mad at you because you said I can take care of you right now. Let's talk tomorrow. If I was a parent, I'd be over there looking for your address. You know.
Well, actually, Doc, we talked just in a phone call. He called me in my number at that time, and I stepped out of the room in my college class
Mm-hmm.
and talked to him for about 10 to 15 minutes. And he really want to talk to me personally
Mm.
immediately after that call. So I told him to just to settle that situation the next day to settle uh about this argument, about this problem in terms
Mm.
of his child. And then he agreed, and he attended that
Meeting.
meeting the
So
next
you did
day.
handle it correctly. So the only thing is you didn't explain it correctly, because you did handle it correctly. You said, I step up and I calm him down. So he was
Yeah.
calm enough to make an appointment with me. And then we talked about it more and it was resolved. So you have
Okay.
the effect. The effect is you have solved the problem. But
Okay.
the thing that was not clear to me when you explained was when you said, oh, no, you don't, you make it sound like you're just brushing him off. That I'm going to talk to you tomorrow. I have a client, I am doing something else. You don't ever do that, especially if somebody's mad. You need to calm them down and get them to
Yeah.
be in a conversational, context with you, and they make an appointment like you did. So you did do it right, and that is how you should have done it. But you should not be meeting with him that night. He was so mad. That was correct,
I
because if
was
a
terrified by that night, Doc. Very, very terrified because I thought the father is, I thought that father, her father, my learner's father, is Muslim. And then suddenly I realized when I get to school that morning, the next day, oh my God, the father is not a Muslim. It's the mother who is a Muslim. So why am I being terrified that night? I wasn't able to sleep that night because
yeah,
I was really thinking about it.
yeah, but don't use the word Muslim and all that
I mean,
describe.
minority.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
because it's now there is a hatred now with all that going on in schools here, that you do not want to go there. That's very political now. So just say culture minority, that is
Okay. Cool.
that is known to have supposedly, some of them may have some anger issues. You
Yeah.
can say that. You can never say the whole Muslim community. You can never say that. That's
Okay.
very stereotyping. But anyhow, but you did handle it right. I like that. I like that part. And
Yeah.
I love separated that you recognize that my question was actually a two-part question, because you
Yeah.
could not have answered it the same way. And that was
But I
good. So,
can't. Well, Doc, I can answer that at the same time simultaneously because it's two different situation.
yep, you're right. But see, the thing is, they would ask you a question with two or three parts of it, and that's why you recognize
Okay.
that two-part question. So if they do
Yeah.
three parts of it, you need to make sure you have your notes and write down the
Yeah.
part. So they'll say for part one, no, 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 no. For part two,
While
you
having that interview.
yeah. So you just did it just like that. Very good,
Yeah.
because that's what you usually do. Because what they do is they have point system. So if that is a four-part question, that might be worth 5 points apiece. So if you
Okay.
only ask one, you only get 5 out of 20.
Yeah.
So that's why you need to, because we score them. I mean, at least in my experience, we have a rubric, see, and then we have a
Okay.
score. That way, whenever at the end, we could just add up quantitatively who did well. That means that how did you answer the questions? If it's a 5 point per question, did you get a 5 or did you get a 3? And so everybody
Okay.
will make a decision, and then at the end, we will have our tally, our sum, that we would add together, and then decide on who's our top. So
I
yeah,
know targeting a perfect score, Doc.
yeah, try to do a perfect score by thinking of the
Yeah.
five compositions. Okay, you
Yeah.
have
Yeah. Yeah.
knowledge of student, knowledge of content, assessment, reflection, and collaboration.
Reflection.
Think of those pieces as a little check mark for you to know what
Okay.
to say next, what to say next. If you do that, your
Okay.
answer will be very detailed.
Ah,
And you also give, hey
Doc,
Mike, well, Mike, what
yes,
happened?
Doc. I just break my car and I'm almost breaking the red light.
Oh, okay, sorry. Oh my gosh, Mike, why
Yes,
are you
po.
doing?
Uh, yeah, Doc, I just want to add po. Last time I remember, the incident report and the anecdotal record of the students must
Mhm.
it's very important because the parents are always looking for it. What happened on my students or what happened
Yeah.
during that time? So it must be properly documented
Hmm.
so that the teachers must is also safe
Yeah.
whatever the incident happened in the classroom, especially
Very,
in the
yeah, very,
situation of my class. I'm teaching special education. um Everything must properly documented because
mhm.
we will be on the court if we if
Yeah.
we're not properly documented every incident happened in the classroom.
Yeah, I think that's a very good idea. Now with technology, thank you, Mike, for adding that, because that is a good idea. Now with technology, you can actually do a Google a sheet, and every student will have a tab, and you can. I did that when I was a principal. I would assistant principal. I would do like a tab per kid that will come to my office, and I put the date down and what happened, and then what the result was, how was it resolved, and who were the people involved. And I did that. So the next time that child came to my office, I just go back to that tab and say, oh, hey, you were here 2 weeks ago, or you were here 2 days ago. And this is what happened. So how come, So anyway, so you have a record of that, and having that for your students would be so good, because especially if you have a parent that's gonna be thinking that they will try to get you in trouble or whatever. So make sure you cover yourself by having documentation. There are some parents sometimes that have anger management issues, and they will take it out on the teacher. And so if that's the case, and somebody will, and your kids, your parents sometimes, then you need to ask for help. Like, ask the principal, can you be there during our meeting? And it's okay to do that. We actually had a situation like that in Salem, where this parent was always getting the teacher, her child's teacher, every year getting them in trouble. And so every year these teachers are always asking for the principal's help, until they got to my classroom. I said, I don't need her, I didn't need your help, I can handle her. Because I knew her. And anyway, so I just told her, hey, because she was always saying things like, oh, you're being discriminated, you're discriminating my son, because my son is half this, half that. I said, no, have you looked at my color of my skin? I am a woman of color. I am also minority here. So you cannot be saying that, because it's we have the same color as your son. So that's not quite right to say that. She and I just end up joking at the end, but the other teachers were having a hard time dealing with her. They were telling me nightmares about, like, oh, 2 years ago, this is what she did to me, and I had to call the principal. And I'm like, nah, I think I can handle her. And I was able to handle her. But you have to know, I guess you have to know your parents, your students, in order for you to know what you can handle and cannot handle. But in America, you know that if a child, or even if a parent would hit you or do something, the cops will be involved. Nearly every district here now has an SRO, or a school resource officer. That's the cop. Usually they're paid half by the school and half by the city. and they will be there for you to help you. And if you really need that person, that SRO, to be with you because you have a parent that's really aggressive, don't hesitate to ask them for help. And of course, you always need to have your principal, know about all this, what's going on. It's always good to tell the principal, doing a heads up, saying, you know what, I have an angry parent. You may hear from this parent. Yeah, I just want you to know this happened. And in that way, that your principal will not be back, will not be like so surprised that this happened and the teacher did not say anything. So always communicate with your principal, whoever's, whoever's your supervisor. Always tell them what's going on, especially when a potential parent that might be mad to coming to their office that will make them mad at you if they don't share. We have a school in a surrounding area that had two different lawsuits from parents of special ed, Mike. And so the special ed teachers were always telling the principal, this happened, because there's a potential of lawsuit. There was a family that was found to just move from one state to another, and they were suing people all over the place. And that way they were making money, because some schools would not want to go into lawsuit with someone, so they just settle, they'll give them money. And so this particular person was actually kind of using it, and you don't want to be used. So the paperwork that you have suggested, have an anecdotal record where you have the detail of the dates and what happened and who was there, if there's a witness, and what happened, how did you resolve it. You should have that, because it's just gonna support you. It's just gonna document your role there. Nobody can make it up. But of course, you have cameras now in classroom, most places, so they can actually, that's also your extra protection. But the thing with cameras sometimes is they would not keep it for a whole year. Some of them would be deleted every month, 30 days maybe. In some schools that have money, they would have a big memory thing and they would last for a whole year. But some of them do not. So they 30 days, they would delete them. So you can't go back that far. So having your paperwork would be good to have. Yeah. But going back to your questions that I asked you, I think that was a really good answer, Erwin. I think I would have given you at least a 4, between a 4 or 5 on those questions. So
Thank
so
you
yeah.
so much, Doc.
Yeah, you can handle it. Those are really common questions, by the way. The unmotivated question and the lazy, or the unmotivated question, or really a lazy child, but you don't say the word lazy, and also the misbehavior thing. And another one that's commonly asked is, if I were in your classroom, I walk in your classroom, what do I see? How do you answer that?
Okay. Do I have to answer it right now, Doc?
Yes, yes. I would
Okay.
what you say.
I thought it's a declarative sentence. Okay. If my supervisor, my co-teacher, even my learners, my parents will enter into my classroom, I believe um, they will observe a classroom with collaborations, a space for safe learners, safe students, and I believe my classroom is a space for learners' safetyness. Not only for learning, because learning is what giving learning to my student is my primary job. Aside from that, of course, I have to make sure that my students are safe, they are working properly, they are working collaboratively, they are making productive noise, a noise of learning, and um a classroom that would encourage my learners to learn more every day and to be excited to come into the class from day to day, I think.
Very good.
That
I love you covered it again. You did good. I love the collaboration piece. Make sure you do that. You need to
okay.
not just a safety, but the you said collaboration. You said an exciting place, and safe. That's good. You also need to say what your actions are. So you may see me. You will hear. So you think about the 5 senses.
Okay.
So you
Yeah,
will
yeah,
hear
yeah.
having the productive noises, and you could see me acting. I would be monitoring and giving feedback from one group to another, because I believe that students should have math discourse They should have their little discourse and talking about problems and solutions, and respecting each other, because that's what, that's what we expect, that the classroom culture is respectful of each other, that I respect you, see me respect my students, and the students respect me, and the students respect each other. So
Yeah,
does
I
that,
forgot that.
yeah, you said that about safety, though. You covered that under safety. But
Yeah.
if you are more specific about the respect part,
Yeah.
that you
Okay,
respect me,
okay.
I respect you, and then they also respect each other. You do not hear the kids cussing, using bad words to each other. They're very
Okay.
respectful, and they're really on task, and so on, they're engaged, and you can hear me giving feedback and praises. Group one, I love the way that you did this. I'm giving specific feedback. Good group one, I love the way that you have solved this problem. I love that you all have you know given your input. You did not leave anybody behind. Those kind of specific questions, you will hear me say
Yeah.
those to my students, and all that. And you might see, anyway, just think of what you hear, and what you see is what you would say. But you do not just tell about what the kids are, but you have to also say what you are doing. So because it's both
Okay.
kids and the students. And I love that you covered the classroom environment also. So you did
Yeah.
more environment and that answer, but you also need to load the answer with what the students are doing and what you're doing. Okay.
Okay.
Because there are
Yeah.
four domains. See, that your planning and preparation is domain A, and domain B is your classroom environment, and domain C is your actual teaching, your instruction, and the domain D is your professionalism. So those are the four things that really they're going to be looking for. Have you planned, have you prepared? You plan for this lesson. So you can see when you come in the classroom, you see a prepared teacher, a teacher with all the materials ready, for example. And then the
Okay.
classroom environment is safe, and you cover that part. And then on the instruction part, I'm not a sage on stage. I'm actually a facilitator, a guide on the side. You can see me
Mhm.
going from one group to another while my students are collaborating, and all that. And so, of course, the domain D would be professionalism, and that could be under about your, either your collaboration piece with others, or also your how professional you are with your students. You are not insulting any kids. You are encouraging them. I've covered that when you said I'm encouraging them, and they're excited about being in my classroom. And so those, you are a very professional person. So you covered all those. You just have to be more, I guess, detailed.
Very specific. Yeah. Detailed. Very detailed about it.
Yep, that's my favorite. Specific is terrific. Okay.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, if you answer it that way, because that's a very common question that they always ask. Like, tell me, if I'm a fly in the wall in your classroom, what would I see? Or if I'm over
Okay.
there being in your classroom, what do I see? If you're gonna
Okay.
film yourself, videotape yourself teaching, what would we see in the show, in the clip? So anyway, so those are the things that you would say, and you can even include my
You know.
teaching. When you see me teach, you can see my teaching philosophy of hands-on learning. I believe that kids should be solving problems and so on, and because that's aligning with my teaching philosophy,
Okay.
that kids learn better by doing, all that. So
Okay.
you could include all that to wrap it up neatly, and then and then woo, you got it. But
I'm learning a lot, Doc. I'm learning a lot. I'm just listening to you.
yeah.
So focused.
So you just have to do that. You just have to think. And in my mind, I was thinking of when I'm asked that, I'm thinking of the four domains of teaching,
Yeah.
and the four domains are actually the ones that they are using in Arkansas to grade the teachers. So when I go and observe teachers in Arkansas, I'm using those domains. How prepared are they? Are their classroom environment safe? And, are they respecting
Yeah.
kids? All those are positive culture. And when another thing you could even add as a weakness in some is you seeing me, that if I see somebody good, somebody that did an awesome job, the class would like, let's do a clap for so and so, let's do 5 claps, let's do whatever, you validate
Yeah.
each other by
Okay.
clap, doing that. Yeah. So you could add that part, because that is something that you should do, and not very many teachers do that. But you should do it. You should validate a group or students that do well. Let's clap each other. For that, because that's called a positive culture. So you're a cheerleader for your students, and that is one of the standards that you have to meet. That I see
Okay.
that thing in a lot of classrooms. So yeah. Anyway, I'm not gonna put you in any more spot. I just ask you the the three difficult
Well,
questions.
actually, Doc, I'm really excited to have that kind of of interview with you because I know I learn a lot. I'm actually taking notes of everything that. Oh yeah.
Just see this video, but also you watched the Josephine video with Maria and
Yeah,
I.
yeah.
Yeah.
I have actually watched that last August, and
Uh-huh.
that's where I've learned some of the right terms that I have to say. The words for unmotivated learners,
Good.
instead of saying
Lazy.
indolent or lazy. Yeah. That's where I get it. That's where I get
Good.
it.
Yeah. 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 If you see that Josephine video plus doing that PowerPoint with the question and then the answer in it,
Yeah.
and I think somebody, I don't remember, I was on the name of that person that actually is here now, and she said when she did her interview, she actually printed those and used it as a reference because she really
Mhm.
studied it. So I think because those are the common questions that they might
Yeah.
ask it a different way, but there's going to be a form of that. And on top of it, I want you, if you're really interested in working for that school, the first thing you should do is go to their website and read
Okay.
everything on that website, especially
Okay.
the part about the policies. They'll have
Yeah.
kids, they have student policy handbook, they have teacher handbook, parent handbook,
Mission.
mission,
I
vision.
think so.
You can
Yeah.
memorize one and say it in your answer. Oh my gosh. You
Okay.
in my classroom, you could see that whatever is going on, like aligned to your vision or aligned to your
Yeah.
mission, whatever you can say that, and they would be so impressed. Oh my gosh, this teacher knows. Yeah, so that's really impressive. So if you can do that, do it. And then
Yeah.
so those things, because a discipline part about the teacher, about the student handbook would tell you about how they discipline. So if they ask you about discipline question, then if you know their handbook, then you can say, according to your handbook that I read online, that this first the first time it happened, this happened, and this happened. So you can tell
Okay.
their own policy because everybody is different in their policies. So that's why it's
Okay.
important for you to look. And do not ask them about how much they pay, because in the website it also shows you under
Yeah.
board required information. One of them is the teacher salary. And there's a table there where how much you would make, whatever. So that
Yeah.
should
Yeah.
not, a wasted question for you. At the end of the interview, they would say, do you have a question for us? I want you
Yes,
to
I
ask.
will. Well, actually, Doc, if they are going to ask me if I have a question, I will be asking a lot of questions in terms of the schools, the cultures, what is happening, what's their day-to-day basis, what are their what's about their school calendar, what are they doing every this month and that month and that month.
Oh no,
Because
no, don't.
I have to know that to expect what I have, to expect things that I have to learn from them. Yeah.
Right, but the calendar do not do that because they also put that on their website.
Okay.
Calendar is on their
No
website,
problem.
so you should not be
Okay.
asking that. You should have checked their websites.
Different
But
activities.
yes, you can ask for PDs. What are the PDs provided for teachers? So what are,
Okay.
yeah, some cultural events that I could learn from, where I learn about the American
Uh-huh.
culture? Those are things you could
Uh-huh.
ask. But about anything about schedule of school, it's going to be all on their website. That's why it's important to check.
Okay.
And if you ask about the community, be careful about asking about, is it safe? Because when you say that, sometimes it could be seen as like you're being discriminated. You're
Yeah.
discriminating against culture. That
Yeah.
sometimes you say it's not safe because certain cultures there, whatever, that there's crime because of this. Sometimes it could be misinterpreted as that, and it should
Yeah.
not be.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
so you would say things like, how accessible will the school be for teachers, from international teachers who do not yet drive when they get there, who would have to find an apartment when we get there? How easy is it? How hard is it? You
Mm-hmm.
can mention me, it's like, oh, Dr. McCullough can help us, but you can ask them some things.
Okay.
And drop the name. They know me. So they would just say, yeah, if you don't answers, I don't know that answer, but I know I could always ask my mentor, Dr. McCullough, from
Yeah.
Arkansas. So you can say that, because then you don't have to know all the answer, and do not be too
Okay.
proud to say, I don't have the answer right now, but I know I can ask. If she doesn't know, I know she will ask somebody, because
Yeah.
nobody has the answer. Because I can Google things, but you cannot say that. But you can just say, yeah, you can Google things, so you can YouTube things, but TikTok things. But
Yeah.
anyway, yeah, just be yourself, and you're actually just more visiting, like how we are visiting with each other right now. That's all that you should be. You should just be like talking to me as if you're visiting,
Okay.
talking, because you should not be
Yeah.
like stiff, like, oh, I'm so afraid.
Yeah.
Yeah, you should relax and
It,
just
it
chill.
it looks like so scripted.
Yeah, is chill and just kind of visit with them and talking back, talking, answer them when they introduce themselves. Make sure you write their names down and their title, because in all
Okay.
probability, a school with with a district with 9 schools, so you may be interviewed by 9 principals. So yeah, if they each one would want to hear, or they
A
might just
lot.
say high school kids could, just the high school folks are there, the junior high and the high school could be there, but
Okay.
all the elementary principals there. So just be ready for that and pay attention to what they say, who they are. Put number one, this person said this, and this title is principal. Number two is McCullough, and the title is mentor. Number three is
Okay.
the whatever, Dr. Brown, superintendent. You can say that because
Okay.
when they talk and you call them by their name, be like, oh my God, that's impressive that you already know. Dr. Brown, thank you for
Oh,
answer. You
is
know,
it is it Doc, is it properly to here in the Philippines, um saying their name, your boss's name, your immediate supervisor's name, I think it's inappropriate here in the Philippines, but is it also inappropriate or appropriate, more appropriate to say their name or to say the word madam or say
no,
sir?
too formal and too stuffy, you can say sir or ma'am.
Okay.
You can say sir or ma'am. But some of the
Okay.
women younger, if they are called ma'am, you're telling them they're old. So you say,
Okay.
that's why it's good to say their
It's
name, because if it's
so
my
it's
cousin,
age discriminating, so I have
yeah,
to say their name.
yeah, you can say that, doctor, because you don't know them, you can just use the word, their title. You say Mr. So and so. So if it said
Okay.
Smith, Mr. Smith, thank you for asking me this question, because na na na, and then Miss, Miss, whoever, whoever they say they are, right? Call them with that. Just put Miss or Mister, and that will be fine.
Okay.
But Madam would be too English, too stuffy.
Okay.
Yeah. So, but
Doc,
just we do ma'am a lot here. But when you are talking to somebody in New York, they think that's really awful that you would call them ma'am. They think that's an
Mhm.
insult. So you have to know where you're having the interview at. In the South, they don't mind the ma'am, except for the younger people do not call them ma'am, because they think that you're calling them old, especially women. Now and I'm like, okay, I can't
Doc,
call not now. So I'm like, I'm really old. So, yeah, I
Doc,
get called.
Sir Michael is trying to call you. Sir Mike is trying to call you.
I'm leaving that. Thank you.
yeah.
Jackie's leaving. Okay,
Doc,
Jackie. Bye. So what did Mike say?
Doc, apo,
Yeah.
just to share po, here, yung, even their colleagues, the students are calling you Mr. Roca, Mr. Banduria, like that.
Yeah, they will do
They're
that.
not calling sir, they're not calling ma'am. They're just
Yeah,
using Mr. or Miss.
Mr. or Miss. Okay.
your last name.
Yeah,
Yeah.
only that. Even the students, they will not call you sir or ma'am. They will call you Mr. Roca, like that.
Mm. Yeah, Mr. Bandoria. You'll be Mr. Bandoria. Yeah. Anyway, it's
Baduria. Doc, it's Baduria.
Badoria.
Baduria.
It's
Badoria.
Baduria without
Yeah,
N.
I put an N on it, N, because that's how I remember.
Yeah, most of the schools districts that I've been talking a lot in terms of this speakership, they are as a service for speaker, they're always adding N in my
Yep.
surname. It's always
Yeah,
Baduria. So I told them
yeah,
they are
because
always revising the certificates because it's it has no N.
because bad, you don't want to say bad. You want to say band, but you don't want to say bad. That's
Yeah.
why. It's a pat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah. Like mine, sometimes.
One more thing. Uh,
Yeah, go ahead.
yes po, Doc. One more thing, I forgot. I forgot. I want to add po the reward system, because it really motivates the students. Like my youngest daughter, she's always excited every Friday because Friday is treat day. So
Ooh.
whatever points or they gathered for the whole week, there's a corresponding rewards na makukuha po ang kids.
Mm.
And
Well, I think
also
I
some
think
of
that's
the
a good practice,
teachers,
Sir
they are
Mike.
particular, yeah, they are very particular with the point system, the class dojo. what
Yeah.
else like that. And then the teachers are monitoring it. The reason why I can say it because my daughter is always asking me to sign a papers or the papers that the teachers are sending to them about their progress.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Ah.
Yeah. You do that. And then also one that remind me, Mike, that reminded me that your grades here are very private. You do not show the whole screen with everybody's grades in it. I had to tell
Yes,
someone
po.
that this week that I said, don't do that because that is not something you should be showing everybody. Don't show
Yeah.
the screen for
Mhm,
everybody.
mhm.
Don't ever do that. The Philippines, it might be okay, but not here. You do not want anybody to know what everybody else made. So
Yeah.
yeah. So that do you do
Well,
how do you
actually, Doc,
yeah.
it's not also it's the same also here in the Philippines. You can show the grades of learners, classmates,
Yeah, other students to the other
yeah, other
parents.
students. If they want to see their grades, it's just all of their scores, their specific scores without the scores of other students.
Yeah. Okay.
It's the same
Okay.
way here.
Mhm.
Okay, that's good. Good
And
to
maybe some of the teachers will be surprised that some of the students doesn't care about the grades. For them, 60 it's okay, 65 for them it's okay, like that.
yeah. Yeah, they're not like me where I told my own the biological kids that B is an Asian F. Mom, you didn't mean it. And no, I did not mean it. I was joking, silly. But anyway, so yeah, just keep that in your mind, but don't share that with students or parents. So,
Mhm, yes.
anyway, so yeah, thank you so much, Mike and Erwin. We have about half of the people left now. I'm sure everybody else is asleep, but I want to talk to the others. Fran, my cousin, do you want to talk to us? What did you learn something from Mike, from Erwin, from Maria or Jackie or Arthur? Fran, what did you get? What,
I I learned a lot, especially the classroom management and the situation over there and here in the Philippines is very different. I have a lot of ideas how to handle it.
okay,
Thank you
well,
so much.
you're,
Thank you so
you're
much.
welcome. Yeah, that's good that you got something. Um,
I get I have a lot
well,
and
tell me,
uh,
tell me one.
I can apply that one the one you taught a while ago uh the Harry Potter and the villain inside the classroom. I
Yeah,
want to apply that one because my student is grade 2 and they are interested about that one, Harry Potter, and also
yeah. Whatever
I
book that,
apply that one.
yeah, I think you have to tell me what happens, okay? All right.
Yeah, yeah. I share it to you if what is happening
Yeah.
for the
Hey,
future.
Fran, my mom was asking who was your grandmother and who was your, because she's trying to place you in which I know you have lots of cousins
Lulu
there.
Iko,
Huh? No, Iko,
I am
Francisco.
yeah
Yeah. Yeah. And your mom was did it?
no Rose and Boy.
Oh, okay. Well, that's do you know that your dad, boy, was the godfather of my sister Milet? Do you
Yeah,
know that?
yeah.
Yeah.
Mama Rose always remembering Milet.
Yeah.
How's Milet now?
Yeah.
Milet
Well,
is already a teacher in Arkansas.
you're doing really well in Arkansas. Yeah. All right. Well, I'll have to tell Milet that then because I was trying to place you and I'm like, I know she's her cousin, but I don't know. But they have so many brothers in that family. So I don't know which brother you belong to. So yes, I just know you where you lived. But anyway. Okay. So let's see if Manimfa can tell us something too. Thank you, Fran. Um
Okay, thank you.
yeah, Manimfa, did you hear anything that you might like to try? Thank you for wanting to try the Harry Potter, friend. Manimfa, what did you gain? You have one thing that you gain, maybe? See, I'm practicing my wait time because I'm pretty bad about not waiting. So my wait time, you have supposed to count like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 quietly, and then before you even call, and then after the answer, you're supposed to wait again. But not me. I forget to wait. So Manimfa, you don't want to talk. How about Myrna or Joel Timson? Do you any of you want to talk or both of you? I,
Hi, good evening. Sorry.
yeah, yeah,
Hi.
yeah.
Hi,
Be on
hi. Hello.
video,
Yeah.
so we. Yeah, tell me something you have gained. Have you gained something?
Oh yeah, yeah, I did. Actually, I was thinking of how to face the interviewee during the interview. So, thank you, Mr. Erwin, also for giving us a sample, and thank you, Ma'am. Yes, I really when we deal with the students, really, those who have problems. Okay, the first thing that we have, because at times we do have the tendency to teach the subject, but we forgot also to consider where the students are coming from. So that's very important. We teach the students, not the subject. Okay, and also we need to collaborate also with us. So
Mhm.
collaboration is very important. So I just realized that what we are practicing here is not really far from what is being practiced in the US.
It's just, yep. They just speak a different language, but classroom is a classroom. Students are
Yeah,
students.
classroom. Yeah,
Yep.
classroom is a classroom. Because for I've been handling grade 10 students for 30 years now, and most of the time I do encounter students who are quiet. They are timid, but I would have I love to have this small note with me. I will say, please, if you want to talk to me, do you need help? I always have like that. And also when I check their papers, I would say, please see me. And of course, these students they are shy, so I would approach them and ask, how are you doing? Without talking about the academics yet. Without talking the academics yet. I would
It's-
have to know first where the student is coming from.
you call the word knowledge of students. You
Yes,
want to, like, we are worried about our content sometimes, but we forget that knowledge of students is just as important. So that's
yes,
why,
yes.
yeah, use the word knowledge of students instead of like where they come from. So
Yeah, yeah,
say,
knowledge.
yeah, yeah, that you'll do awesome on the interview. I just know it. Yeah.
Okay, knowledge of student. Okay, that's good.
Knowledge of students, yeah, because there are five core, and I've always said that knowledge of students is number one, and knowledge of content is number two.
Yes,
That's what you, right? And in the middle of it is assessment. So you assess before, during, and after. You don't just
so
assess after. Yeah.
yeah,
Beginning,
so
yeah. And then the last two rhyme, they are the reflection and collaboration. So you reflect, did my lesson work? Did not work?
yeah,
What was strong on it? What
yeah,
was weak? How do I reteach it? Whatever.
Hello.
Yeah. And then
yes,
at the ask about, who do
yeah.
I rate? Which speaker do I need to bring or whatever?
I actually have I have this because I am teaching computational subjects, and we have to admit that not all students really are mathematical by nature.
Mm-hmm.
So I would have, I am checking their papers in a rush, so I can give them the feedback at once. I am
Okay.
personally checking their work, so I would know what to reteach and how to
Okay.
unlock the difficulties they encounter in the previous activities.
Very, very good. But I don't want you to use the word in a rush because it made it sound like you're just like not paying attention.
No, no,
Say
no, but
say that I believe that immediate feedback is
yeah,
important.
okay, immediate instead of in a rush. Okay,
Immediate, yeah, yeah. Say immediate
immediate.
feedback is important so that it will inform me about with if I need to reteach or if I need to move forward with my lesson.
Yes, yeah.
My
Because
curriculum this,
yeah, yes.
yeah.
Because it's useless if
Hello.
we just give them assessment and assessment and assessment without giving them the feedback.
That's right. That's right. It's not
Because
good.
because yeah, the learning becomes superficial in that case.
Yeah. And it's like weighing the pig all
Hello.
the time, vitamins in between.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes,
Hello,
exactly.
Doc.
Raising the hand. Yeah. Somebody's raising the hand.
Oh, hello, Doc. Hello,
Yes.
Doc. Ah, yes,
Yes.
yes. Good morning. This is Ninfa. I'm so very the signal here in Mindanao are very static. We have I experienced heavy rain here in Lipolao City. Doc, so sorry. Oh, good morning. I would like to say, Doc, thank you. A lot of learnings. This a lot for there 1 hour or 2 hours. No, there's something that I have to uh, delete or something like it is not considered. It is not something to be practiced. No, na many things good, Doc. So this is my first time. So sorry, marang nakulbaan ko, Doc.
Why are you nervous? You can see I'm just myself. I'm telling you. I'm Philippine.
Yeah, yeah. I
Boy.
was I am amazed, Doc. But the way you speak to us or you facilitate this kind of meeting, Doc, seems like that
we were friends a long time ago gid Dok pa, pero na-feel pa gid nako Dok na ako lang yung ibisaya kay di jud pa ka express no.
You're
Na-feel
so
nako na murag dili ka ingon na nang taas ako ang makita ba even though na kanang karon pa gid no murag daghan kay ko learn pero sayang lang kay wa ko gadalag ballpen og kuan kanang lapis kay
right, right.
I mean paper kay
Yeah.
apiki gud ang signal diri Dok kay
Oh,
Mindanao na experience
yeah.
gud ni saron sa kuan kanang ang rain
Our,
tugtog kaayo na mudalugdog niya. Nara ko
oh,
sa room niya usay mo static ang iyang kuan sa
uh,
signal niya.
sorry.
Oh niya.
But you will have this on, I'm posting this on YouTube. So you go to my, search my name on YouTube, and ITSA, ITSA, International Teacher Support in America. So put ITSA Dr. Merlina McCullough, and you will see my YouTube videos, and this will be posted. So you can see, you
Ay,
can,
thank you, Doc. Oh,
you don't have to
kay
take and just look at it again.
oo, nya din. Salamat kay you, Doc. Salamat kay balag nag-English sa pamudya kay ako gakuan pa ko sa inyong mga inistoryahan ko.
No,
Aduy, aduy, aduy. Oh, pero
you,
since lang na-appeal ko sa inyong grupo, first time gid ako ni Doc. But
you have,
anyway, thank you so
girl.
much.
Yeah, but you have to speak English because I want to learn. I want to hear your fluency. I want you to practice to get better.
Eh, yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So
I'll give
I
you
will
fast
go.
time.
I'll try. I'm going. Do I have
No,
to start it now?
no, you're fine. I was just a hard time, but no, it's fine. I'm glad that you are learning something because even if you take one thing out of this meeting, I'll be so happy because if you use it immediately, you will remember it. But if you just don't use any one thing, you will just forget it because our long-term memory versus the short-term memory,
Yeah, her turn.
yeah, if it doesn't see any use of it, it's going to delete it. So if you apply it,
Yeah,
then put it in a long-term memory. So you want it to be in a long-term memory, so you remember it. It's not going to get deleted by the short-term memory. Yeah. So it's
yes, Doc.
applicable. Yeah. All right.
Can
So
I add on for the what's being said that there is a motivated children and unmotivated. At the Doc, at the first time that we are going to start with our class, we have the diagnostic test. So we may be able to measure the barometer of the knowledge of the pupils. That is why there are pupils also that they are not yet ready for that content or for that competency. Maybe they
mhm.
feel like uneasy to listen because maybe uh, it is not yet for their uh, sana siya pang ability to cope
Yeah,
with that
yeah, they're not
competency.
learn from it because the maturity level is not reached yet. Is that what?
Yeah, so that is yeah, yeah, yeah. So that is
Yeah.
why there's the differentiated instruction.
Very good, very good. I love for you to include that in your interview. Make sure that, it's important for me to do differentiated instruction because I realize that everybody can learn, but they cannot learn at the same rate. They learn at different
Yeah,
pace, right?
yeah,
So,
and
so
it
yeah, say that. That would be good.
yes, and also applying also an explicit teaching,
Hmm.
doc. Yeah, for a
Yeah.
guided practices with the different instruction of the pupils, and if we
Hmm.
can have also classify from group A and B and C with the different activities. So there you may able to measure if the group really understood the lesson.
Very good. Differentiated instruction. The what do you call it? You are reflecting there. So you're reflecting with
Yeah.
ready or not. That's good. Big reflection is
Yes.
always good. Yeah.
So the proper word to be answered, the word reflection.
Yep. Upon reflection, or as I reflect on the lesson, you should use the word reflect. As I reflect on the
Yeah.
lesson, when
Yeah,
I
I
real,
got many. Yes, very nice.
yeah,
The collaboration.
collaboration. See, you make it sound like really big, right? But anyway, yeah, if you use those terms, then make it sound like you really know what you're talking about because those five core propositions are the propositions for the national board. I'm a national board certified teacher, and those are what good teaching is like. That you know your students, you know your content, you do your assessment, and then you reflect, and then you collaborate. collaborate with peers, colleagues, your parents. Sometimes it could be an outside speaker you bring in. That could be a collaboration.
Stakeholders.
Huh?
Do you have stakeholders?
Stakeholders, yep, the different stakeholders, yep, use the word stakeholders, that's awesome. And you have to remember that students are also stakeholders. Yeah.
Yes.
So
Number.
why one misconception that I want to correct this week is some teachers here that are here are thinking that if they're not standing in front of the room, they don't call it teaching. Like they think that you have to be standing in the room and be lecturing in order for you to consider it be teaching. Because one of the
Yes.
teachers, well, I'm just not teaching that class because they just don't listen. So I'm, instead of teaching them, I'm having them do this activity or whatever. They're pairing, they're doing small group. And I said, you are teaching there. You might not
Mm-hmm.
a lecture, but you are teaching it in a very effective strategy, actually, because kids actually learn more from each other. So if you allow students to work together, they actually learn more from each other, sometimes more than they learn from us, because they have
Yes,
a way.
and that, yes,
Yeah,
copy. That is,
yeah,
I do, we do, you do.
that's right. That's called a GRR, gradual release of responsibility. So if you do the
Yes,
strategy all the time, you are doing well. And then make sure that when you explain it as the we do, and then the before you do the you do by yourself, try to pair them up first, or have a little group first before that you give them individually, because then
individually.
the scaffolding support there. Yeah. So
Yes.
yeah, so sound like you're very knowledgeable about strategies. Good job. I like.
Thank you, but very tense pa, Doc.
No,
As it seems like, basta lang.
no, I think you
Okay.
just need confidence in yourself because you seem to have really good. You just need to put it in English because you might have good ideas in Cebuano and they will not know it. So just kind of practice it in English. And so what you might want to
Yeah.
do, like write it down and practice it in front of a mirror or in front of your, somebody safe, somebody that would not criticize you, family, whatever, friend, and practice with them. Because when I
Thank you
first,
so much, Doc.
yeah, when I first came to America, I remembered having to translate everything in my head, before. Now, so you stage, I was in before you start thinking in English. So of course I've been here 36 years, so I very much think in English now.
Wow, wow, wow.
Yeah. Yeah, I was 19 years old when I came here, so yeah, so that's been,
Wow, really?
yeah.
We take my regards to my best friend, Laveliani.
Yeah, okay, yeah. I will tell Love. Yeah. Yeah, she's very happy. She always go to some Broadway and all this musical and all that. She and her,
Holiday in yeah, eating eating far away into what kind of life is that friendship? It's very nice.
she's
Yeah,
living,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah, she's always going to places. She's always doing some great things with her
And the
husband.
concerts.
Yeah, they like that both.
Yeah.
So
With
anyway, well,
with the
I'm here
okay.
so you can hang around with us. She lives about she lives about 30 minutes from me, so it's not too bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So
Doc, Doc, I would like to ask something, but Doc, how can I apply or how can I have this kind of opportunity to apply that J1 visa since this is my first or two times na to and which from other like the teacher USA, and then Gladys told me that I can endorse you, my friend of mine, and then here is it, uh you, Dr. Merlina. How would you mind to help me about this?
yeah, well, thank you. You also need to be proactive by going to www.schoolspring.com, and then you can see all the different job opportunities for teachers here. Do you filter like full-time teacher and so on, and the grades that you want, and then even the state that you want, you can filter that. And if you want Arkansas, you put Arkansas there, and it will show you all the job openings, and then you apply directly. And I don't mind you putting me down as a reference. That way, if they call me here, if they ask me, they send me a survey asking about you, I can answer. So be
Wow.
going to that school
Yes.
spring. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Joe.
Well, we need to be about done. But anyhow, I was late today. I'm sorry because I forgot that it changed. Mike was like, you, yeah, are you gonna be on? And I'm like, it's not till 8, right? He said, no, it's at 7 because we changed the time. And I'm like, oh my goodness, I'm sorry. But then I was having technical issues, so that's what happened. So anyway, somebody's raising their hand. Who is that?
Thank you, Doc.
Yeah, who's raising their hands?
It's Ma'am Nympha, Doc.
Manifa.
Ma'am
No,
Nim,
sorry.
got it.
No, so sorry.
No, no problem. No problem. Oh, there you go. See,
Maghangyo siya.
yeah, Erwin, thank you for posting the school spring
Yes,
doc.
Doc. Yes, Doc.
Thank you,
You,
Sir
For Ma'am
Erwin.
Nympha.
yeah, yeah. Thank you, Erwin. Erwin is familiar with that. Erwin, how many application did you put in when you went to
Oh
school?
my God, Doc. I think I already had 1,000, 3,000.
Why did you
No,
not?
I, I,
Huh?
I don't know
Did
how many, as long
it?
as I have my time, I'm doing a lot of applications. Actually, right now, while having this conversation, I'm actually typing encoding my details into, I think, Cincinnati.
Oh my
And
God,
let me check.
he's
Let me
obsessed.
check. You
can do
this
9 to 10
yeah,
a day.
the Greater Cincinnati School Application Consortium employment.
Yeah. Well, because that's still in the US and you can always fly to
Yeah.
Arkansas. And any of you that's out of state, if you want to come and see us, we will have a get together and see you because in Helena alone has 15 teachers. Where Mike is has 15 teachers, and Brinkley, where Maria is, they got 4. So that's
Well,
19
Doc,
right there.
actually, Sir Mike is really excited for me to arrive to be there.
Yeah.
he's really he's
Yes,
really
yes po, Doc. During
big.
his application, he's almost discouraged. No, Sir Mike, I will not continue this because no one is I know school is responding on my emails like that.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
even Doc Ma'am Mirna and Sir Joel, who are my co-teachers, I told them just wait. Doc Merlina already asked for your names, and I mentioned to her about your application too.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah, well, thank you. Now, somebody on a phone number 2 asking about TOEFL exam. It's under can you type this for me, please? Somebody, www.ets.org.
Let me
ETS,
check the link, Doc.
ets.org,
TOEFL.
Vocational Testing
Yes.
Thank
Service.
you, doctor.
Yeah, it's ets.org. And sure that you get it takes about 2 to 3 months to study for it, I figured. And then there's a practice test there that you can take as many times as you want. That way you can kind of know the format of it. So Mike, you have passed it before you even came here. What did you do? How did you do?
Yes po.
How did you practice for it,
Uh,
Mike?
I have my reviewer po. Watch videos in YouTube. YouTube it's about the ETS. And also, Doc, I just want to ask you this. Um, do you think is it okay for the teachers who are applying in the USA to go directly or to take praxis than TOEFL because in our situation we're going to take praxis.
If they know what the exact practice they're taking, Mike, but sometimes if you're taking the wrong one, you're just wasting your time. So as long as you know the exact
Mm,
or the code that they need, if they know it, it doesn't
Opo.
nothing stop them from passing it, because you just be getting the
Mhm.
school will be happy because they'll just give you the cutoff score and see if you made it. But I would say TOEFL would be number one. I would do TOEFL before I would do Praxis myself.
Mhm.
If you
Okay
apply
po.
Arkansas, by the way, because other states do not require that. Arkansas requires it, but not all states are requiring it. So you might want to go to that state. Like if you want to go, for example, with Erwin, Ohio, you go to Ohio Department of Education. You search that with quotation marks. That way, it would show Ohio Department of Education, and you go under licensure, and then under licensure, you look under reciprocity to see
Mhm.
what they require of you.
Yeah.
In Arkansas, they require you to have TOEFL. They require you to have Praxis, and then you have to do like some Arkansas ideas. PD's things, like science of reading and all.
Mhm. Yes po.
So they have this list of things that Arkansas requires, but not other states do. So different states would have different requirements. So if I were you, if I know exactly which state I want to go to, then you need to go ahead and look at their licensure requirement. If you really want to get a licensure before you come here, you go through New Mexico Department of Education. You can get that. Mike or Erwin, did you have your New Mexico license already?
Actually, Doc, I told you last time, I'm still waiting for my FBI fingerprint.
Okay, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
You have
Yeah,
a
the
I,
biometric
I
po.
think
Biometrics is
yeah,
tricky.
I think it's almost 2 months. 2 months,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah. So if you
And
have that, that might make makes the other schools better, especially if they're not used to hiring international teachers. If you say, I do have a U.S. teaching license from New Mexico, and so that
mhm,
would make them feel better, because there are some of them that are not used to hiring international students,
yeah,
teachers. They're gonna think that, ooh, what if their license no good, you know? But if you already have a U.S. license, then maybe then that should be okay because it's already in the United States. And I think the
uh,
Illinois
you can
is
yeah, they
another.
can yes po. The
Yeah.
Illinois teaching license po.
Yeah, Illinois teaching
I think it's
license.
the Pell.
Yeah, it's Illinois, Illinois. That's where Chicago is. Chicago is in Illinois. Hi, Mike. Can you please post also the one with the multiple states that I did? You know that job posting from
The
the 50.
Excel.
Yeah, the
Yeah, the
Excel.
Microsoft
Yes po.
Excel.
Yeah.
I'll do it po once
Oh,
arrival po.
oh, maybe
Sabi ako.
Erwin might be able to find it.
Well, actually, Doc, I wasn't able to. I'm still trying to look to find it again
It's
because
under
I
under
think I
job.
misplaced it.
Yeah. You Google under your drive under job postings and it will show up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, but anyway, that's okay. Maybe when I send the link for the YouTube or when I post it, I can include those. Maybe include some of those link to interviews as well. But anyway, well, we have talked so long already. I'm hungry. I've not had my coffee. But it's
Yes.
learning with you guys.
Okay, thank you sa time.
Thank you
It's
so
awesome.
much, Doc.
Thank you so
God
much.
bless
I,
us all.
I'm looking forward to do this.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you. And don't forget to subscribe on my
Thank you, Doc.
Good
channel.
luck, sir.
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
good luck to all of us.
Thank you.
Just
Yeah,
be positive and look
Yes.
forward.
of you
Doc,
here.
thank you so much for the time that you spent to us.
Oh yeah, no problem. So it's always fun to spend it with you guys. So all right. So enjoy the rest of the week and then you know, for those in America, you can have a great Thanksgiving. Don't eat too much like I'm planning to. Okay.
Yes,
Thank you.
hopefully to
Bye,
see you,
family here.
God,
see
You
you.
Hi.
God bless
Yes
us
po.
Greetings.
all.
okay,
Greetings from
bye.
Doha, Qatar.
Yes, bye. Bye guys.
Bye. God
Bye, bye,
bless.
bye, bye,
Bye.
bye.
Good night. God bless.
Night.